Get ugly.
Back to the stadium we go for Trojan football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back into Minneapolis High School. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith as we are just about ready to get a brand new football season underway here. Minneapolis hosting southeast of Saline. Some other games going on in the NCAA first. Kind of a consolidated schedule, if you will. Sacred Heart is at Ellsworth tonight. You can watch that game live or even watch it tomorrow on demand on SalinaPost.com. Also, the showdown of Saline County and Salina. Salina South and Salina Central doing battle tonight at Salina Stadium. That's also on Salina Post YouTube at Salina Post Sports. And then NCAA schools doing battle. Beloit is at Lyons, and Troy from the Kansas-Missouri state line up by Wathena is at Republic County. Other games in the area, as we will check the Bennington State Bank scoreboard all night long. Clay Center is at Abilene. Nemaha Central is at Marysville. Bennington is at Mound Ridge. El Saline at Hanover. And Solomon is playing Rural Vista in a battle of Dickinson County. Checking weather conditions, it's been kind of cloudy, spitting a little bit of precipitation all day long. The Kniper Agency of Farmers Insurance tells us mostly cloudy tonight at 62 here at kickoff, little to no wind, and it's going to get down to about 57 degrees. Probably most importantly, Tyler, no chance of rain here as we will make our way here through week number one, the Lions and the Trojans.
Yeah, absolutely bizarre weather for week one, isn't it? I mean, this is football weather already. Week one, we're used to 90-degree temperatures, 90-plus. We've got football weather week one. We've got over 300 teams in the state of Kansas opening up week one with just super excitement. And gosh darn, isn't it great? It's here.
I love it.
We made it. We made it back to football season, Devin Haney.
I think you and I would both be classified as basketball guys. Like, we love basketball, but man, football's just a little different level. It's going out. It's one game a week, and you're leaving it all out on the field, and you admire the work that these athletes put in getting to this point. Of course, southeast of Saline coming off of a state title last year, a perfect 13-0 record. They were able to knock off the two-time defending state champions in Nemaha Central and come from behind fashion. What a story they wrote in the postseason last year. Mitch Gebhardt comes in his 16th season as head coach at southeast of Saline, and what a record for him at southeast of Saline. He is 116-39. His 31st season coaching football overall. He is 15-0 in season openers at southeast of Saline. He will look across the field and see first-year head coach Garrett Golansky for Minneapolis. He came from Sacred Heart a few years ago. He was there from 2017 to 2019, compiled a 6-22 record at Sacred Heart. He's been on the staff here at Minneapolis, coaching with Tom Flax the last few years. He was the defensive coordinator the last 2 years. Tom Flax spent 6 years here at Minneapolis, compiled a 24-30 record. So these two teams, league opponents, close proximity, less than 30 minutes away from each other. They're going to get things underway, and it'll be southeast of Saline with the opening kick. Malachi Hopkins has it on the tee. They are waiting on the Lions to come out. Lions will wear their white helmets, blue tops, red pants. Southeast of Saline in their all-white jerseys and pants with that purple helmet, Trojan logo on the side. Live stream video tonight on SalinaPost.com. You can watch it free of charge and on demand. Not only live, but you can come back and watch it later, too. That's brought to you tonight by our good friends at L&L Advisors. Your new Image Audio, keys to success. Tyler Smith, as we get ready to watch the opening kickoff.
Yeah, Devin Haney, after when you enter week one, the two things you have to do to be successful in week one: ball security. You can't give the ball away. These are things you've worked on. You work on ball security drills, and lack of penalties. You have to understand your assignments, understand what you're doing. You take care of those two things if you're Coach Mitch Gebhardt and these Southeast East Trojans, and you're going to be pretty happy with tonight's results.
Hopkins with a pop-up kick as he kicks it to the north. It's going to be taken inside the 20 by the Lions, and they have some space. Hopkins is going to have to give chase, and they are going to knock the Minneapolis return man out of bounds after he crossed the 50-yard line. Also in there for southeast of Saline, assisting on the stop was junior Josh Watkins, but great field position here to start out for the Minneapolis Lions on the opening drive. They're going to start out in southeast of Saline territory at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, just a great job from Minneapolis right there. They set the wall on that left side and just a great return. It's the dream start for Golinsky and his Lions right here, getting the ball 45 yards away from the end zone.
So they'll come out. Quarterback Owen Just, 1,829 yards a year ago, 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, throwing the ball through the air for Minneapolis. Has a one lone setback. He's going to turn around, hand it off. A loss of a yard on the first carry of the game by Bryson Longberger, a junior, 5'9", 160.
And you saw right there, it's the defensive lines, the trenches of Southeast Saline. And you've heard the name Chambers for years here at Southeast Saline. If you're seeing social media, Kansas pregame, Sports in Kansas, this guy is the real deal. He just collapsed the offensive line right there for Minneapolis.
Minneapolis now. Wide receivers, 2 of them to the right-hand side. They turn. They give it to the running back again. He will get that yard back. It will be Longberger once again, the junior tailback, and it will be 3rd down and 9.5 for Minneapolis. 2 carries, little to no gain. A short loss and a short gain here for Longberger. 3rd down and long now coming up for the Lions.
And you see a lot of times with the defensive line, it's not necessarily the guy that makes a tackle that does all the right work. Everybody's doing nasty stuff down there in the trenches, and Drew Weller did a great job grabbing a hold of the Minneapolis ball carrier. It's a good tackle from Weller.
Bryson Lippold, Drew Weller, Tristan Swank, Brody Chambers up front for Southeast of Saline. All of them with a hand in the ground. Now, just gets out of the pocket. He's being chased. He's going to go to the sideline. He's going to be tackled and taken down quickly over there on that far side by Southeast of Saline's pursuing defense. That was linebacker Killian Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn right there, just great pursuit, right? That's something you work on all the time this summer. Where's that pursuit angle? Vaughn knew exactly where to go. It's a huge stop on 3rd down for Southeast.
Minneapolis has mustered 2 yards of offense here, and it brings up a 4th down and 8, and their punt unit is on the field. Gannon Jacobson will be back deep for Southeast of Saline after Southeast of Saline's defense has dodged a little bit of a field position bullet here in the opening drive from Minneapolis. There's a punt, high but short. It's going to bounce inside the 20 and then take a high hop off the turf and be down outside of the 20. That's where we will see Southeast of Saline. And an offense that a year ago, in the act of winning a state title, they also set a record for scoring offense, for total offense, total yards in that offense last year, 5,331 yards. They averaged 410 yards per game, and that was partly due to Gannon Jacobson. The senior quarterback is back, over 2,000 yards passing a year ago, 33 touchdowns in the air against just 10 interceptions. He also had 62 rushing yards per game and 10 rushing touchdowns. That's right. The Cannon has a part of 43 touchdowns a year ago, and he looks around him and he sees a lot of the same faces, including Grady Gebhardt, Kenyon Douglas, Caden Berrigan, and Malachi Hopkins.
And it's the weapons that he has, and it's an inside-outside. They just do simple better than anybody else.
Pitch out left-hand side. Here's Grady Gebhardt. Has blockers out in front. It's a wall. He's at the 30. Flag down. Grady Gebhardt's going to run this all the way to the north end zone, but it's not going to matter, I'm afraid, as a flag down at the 25-yard line. Grady Gebhardt scores, and the stands across from us going nuts. You cannot fit a peanut in that stands over there. It's so packed with purple. Standing room only on the opposite side. But we'll check the flag coming back here. It was thrown by the outside official here on the near sideline.
Well, it's a leverage right there. You just had, Minneapolis had zero leverage on the outside, just a great wall from Southeast. You get Gebhardt wide open, good things are going to happen.
That flag about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, and they will call holding on Southeast of Saline, so they will bring it all back. But I didn't see a bad block in there. I was watching more of Grady, but I did see the wall that was being formed. There was some good blocking going on there as well. There might have been a bad block, but there was some good blocking going on as well.
Yes, and you see it right there. You see it's Tristan Swank that's coming back. He's talking to the white hat, Brian Bankston, just kind of about what happened. It looks like maybe the sophomore might have got called for the hold, and that's the fun thing about these Friday nights, right? Like you're getting your first experience. You're getting your first experience on Friday nights. Maybe that hold you get away with on a Monday night during JV, but the sophomore getting his first start, for Southeast, called for the hold, I believe. I didn't hear the official call, but it looked like that might have been it. You just learn from that moment.
10 yards from the spot of the foul will put Southeast of Saline back at their own 15-yard line. A set first down and 17. Fake pitch out, same play. Grady Gebhardt, Gannon Jacobson puts the ball in the air. Caden Berrigan, his target. That ball will fall incomplete at midfield and will bring up second down for Southeast. Let's go over the rest of this Trojan offense for you. We mentioned the skill players. It's Berrigan on one wide receiver spot, Malachi Hopkins on another. Your flex guys will be Bryson Lippold, Kenyon Douglas, also Grady Gebhardt at tailback, Gannon Jacobson your quarterback. Up front from left to right, Tristan Swank, the sophomore. Drew Weller made the move from center to left guard this year. Taking over at center will be senior Eli Jennings. Brody Chambers maintains his spot at right guard. Right tackle is Garrett Kuhn. Second down and 17. This play stopped. Flag flies again, and they're going to call procedure on Southeast of Saline.
And Devin, you're seeing right now, very uncharacteristic start from Southeast Saline. We saw the special teams play going Minneapolis' way. That's a staple of Mitch Gebhardt's teams. And now we've seen two offensive penalties backed up you'd like to see right now. You're just trying to gain yards so you have a chance on third down.
Back to the 10-yard line now after the 5-yard procedure penalty. And you're right, it's second down and a mile, second down and 22. You got to break this up into chunks. 2 wide receivers to the right. Lippold will go in motion, now set up as an extra blocker. They'll give it to Grady Gebhardt. Gebhardt, little counter play, got around the first tackler, then hit from behind and was taken down at the 15-yard line. That's a gain of 5 for Grady Gebhardt. Grady, an interesting year last year. Missed about 3.5 games. Went out of the Beloit game, week number 3, before halftime with an ankle injury. Set out, took his time. Amarion Holub filled in at tailback beautifully. They didn't have to rush Grady Gebhardt back. And then, of course, Kenyon Douglas, Killian Vaughn doing their thing, filling in on defense. Grady, though, still ends up last year averaging 131 yards per game and 18 total touchdowns. Here's a pitch out. Gebhardt has it again. Tries to run through an ankle tackle, and he's going to be taken down after a gain of 4. So Southeast playing it conservative here, trying to not put themselves in a bad situation, and they'll go ahead and get in punt formation with Gannon Jacobson ready to kick it away.
Well, and I think if you've watched a lot of these games, you might expect, a screen pass at some point in that third and long from this Trojans offense. But right there, you want to keep it in your back pocket. You're kind of, you're backed up, very conservative play call. Let your defense go to work.
Gannon standing back between the 5 and 10-yard line. Good snap back. He's going to put the punt in the air. It's a short kick, and it's going to be called for a fair catch right at midfield at the 50-yard line by Owen Just. So both teams really dodging bullets there early on. Southeast kept Minneapolis at bay on offense. Then Minneapolis able to do the same thing with Southeast of Saline. Penalties, they're really the biggest enemy of Southeast of Saline on the opening drive. And we get ready to see the Lion offense once again back out onto the field.
And, Devin, no need to panic. I mean, that's the great thing. I think sometimes we just think, defending state champ, they're going to come out and roll people. This is a very similar start to how Southeast started last year against Minneapolis.
I formation for Minneapolis. 2 running backs. They'll go to the fullback, and he slips through the line of scrimmage. He'll be taken down by Gannon Jacobson, but not until he gets a gain of 7 yards. Coming through the middle of the Southeast of Saline defense that time, it was the first man through, the fullback for Minneapolis.
Yeah, and you saw right there, just a quick hitter, the I formation. That's something. And again, this is what we talked about, new head coach. You have to kind of get used to new schemes. I think maybe we were expecting more, shotgun, 2-back spread offense, and we're seeing, they're starting off just an old-fashioned I.
Same formation here, I formation. They're going to pitch it out to the tailback this time. Brayton Peters, he wants to sweep left now. A flag on Minneapolis after no gain on the play. Alejandro Arnold, a sophomore, was on the first carry of 8 yards.
And you saw right there. So bringing that wide receiver in, you have the normal stat, you have the traditional eye, you have a receiver out to the left, you bring that motion in, trying to get the cornerback, you're trying to pull that side off, and you're trying to get Hopkins in so he can't make that tackle, but just great pursuit and great fill from the Southeast defense.
So Minneapolis will go back now on the other side of the 50-yard line. It's the first time they've been in their own territory on that side of the 50 tonight. 8 minutes left to go, opening quarter. Southeast of Saline football here on KINA. Also live stream video on SalinaPost.com, brought to you by L&L Advisors. The give looked like it was going to go to Arnold, but it's going to be picked up by Killian Vaughn, and the first turnover belongs to the Southeast of Saline defense. Maybe a little bit of a read option botch there that time between Just and Arnold. The ball came out. Southeast of Saline's defense was already in there wrecking that play. The ball pops free, and it's Killian Vaughn with the fumble recovery.
Well, you're exactly right. It was one in the trenches. Vaughn is the recipient of picking up the fumble, and thought he was going to take it to the house right there, but just a great job again, that defensive line collapsing, making that read option so difficult for Just.
First turnover of the game. That puts Southeast of Saline in good field position at the 36-yard line. Jacobson, pump and go. Wants to go down the right-hand sideline. Rips it in the breadbasket of Caden Berrigan. And it's Berrigan waltzing into the end zone. One-play drive after the turnover, and it's Southeast of Saline with a 6-0 lead.
Devin, it is football 101. After a turnover, what do? You try to go big. You've guys coming off and on the field right there. Great play call right there from Coach Mitch Gebhardt. Pass right on the money. Great haul from Berrigan.
7:39 left to go. Southeast of Saline on the board for the first time in this football season. They will line up and go for a traditional formation, 2-point play. Sweep out to the right-hand side. Grady Gebhardt will walk this in. So the big turnover, as you said, you get a freebie possession like that, Tyler. You go for the jugular. That's what Southeast did there, and they were able to rip it down the right-hand sideline 36 yards. Gannon Jacobson to Caden Berrigan, and I don't need your help on that. I know it was a one-play drive from the 36-yard line. Of course, all the scoring recaps brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. You can visit Dr. Westbrook at his sports injury walk-in clinic every Monday and Thursday mornings for your activity and sports injuries. What a play there, huh? You kind of stumble on your first offensive drive, and then the second one, you just send the message that you're not messing around.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's something you just continue to just push, do your thing. Obviously got off script with that holding call. Anytime you get a holding call on first down, all of a sudden it's a 1st and 20 instead of a 1st and 10. It gets you completely off script, especially when it's your first drive of a game, let alone your first drive of a season. So we didn't see, all the tricks in the bag, in the opening drive. But you saw right there, you get a ball after a turnover, try to blow the lid off. Like we said, it's football 101. That's what you do. If you don't get it, you live 2nd and 10, and then you got the ball, on your side of the field. But just a great pass and catch right there from Jacobson to Berrigan. And I have a feeling we might say that a couple times this season.
Caden just got better and better and better last year as the season went along on offense. Ended up with a pretty solid year as a junior at wide receiver. He's such a good blocker, too. 209 yards, 4 touchdowns a year ago for KB on offense. Here's the kick by Hopkins, taken at the 20 by Minneapolis. This return is going to be chopped down after about a 10-yard return that time for Minneapolis. The return man, Jasper Johns, and the Lions will come out with the worst field position they have so far in this game. Still pretty good, though, right there outside of the 30-yard line.
And that's what you love to see if you're Coach Mitch Gephardt, right? Like the first kickoff, not how you wanted things to happen, right? Minneapolis had the ball on their plus side. Things were going well for them right there. Good coverage. The kick, that's where we're going to kick. I mean, that's where it's going to be. You eliminate a big return, and now you let your defense go eat.
From the 31, we'll call it. Nose of the football there at the 31-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Also a pair of receivers to the left-hand side. Shotgun formation here for Owen Just. He'll put it in the belly of the running back standing on his left-hand side, and running back will be annihilated by the Southeast defense. Bryson Longberger barely had the ball secured in his breadbasket before he was driven backwards by Southeast of Saline's front defensive line.
Yeah, Longberger had nowhere to go right there. It looked like maybe trying to give the look of a read. There was never a read involved in that play. It was just right up the gut, right in that A gap, and you just saw it was exploded by the trench mob of Southeast of Saline.
The rotations have already begun for the Southeast of Saline defense. Tiernan Batopchik out there at left corner. Elijah Kerr on the defensive line for the Trojan defense. Here's the give, first man through. And once again, it's going to be the fullback that time. Lined up at fullback for Minneapolis was Jasper Johns, and he will move it ahead for about 4 yards. He'll get the loss back that Southeast of Saline just gave them.
Yeah, that I-twins formation. So we haven't seen the twins formation yet. So we had 2 receivers on our side of the field. Tight end was lined up on the opposite side, which means strong side linebacker Grady Gephardt's going to be there. And that's who filled the hole, made the tackle, made sure that was a limited gain right there for Minneapolis.
So back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a half yard more for 3rd down for the Lions. Again, a 2-by-2 formation, shotgun here for quarterback Owen Just. Just wants to pass, has a quick out on the receiver, and he is going to go down crumbling at the 40-yard line. Gannon Jacobson, Tiernan Batopchik, both there as Killian Vaughn watches on. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 1 at the 40-yard line after a gain of 8.
A great throw from Just right there. I mean, that's a tough ball. Put it on the money. Great reception for Minneapolis, but great awareness right there from Southeast. You know where the sticks are. Make sure you don't get the first down there, and now you force them into a 4th down.
Charlie Klein on the reception that time, and looks like Minneapolis will be in punt formation here as the line of scrimmage is their own 40-yard line. Set to kick it away, Logan Haley for the Lions. Gannon Jacobson back deep for Southeast of Saline. Ball takes a bounce off the turf. Haley will scoop it up, put the ball in the air. It's going to bounce inside the 30 and then take a big Lion bounce. It's going to end up all the way inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. So that is where Southeast of Saline will take over after their defense yields only 9 yards on that Minneapolis drive. It was their 3rd one of the night. And we'll see the Southeast of Saline offense once again back out onto the field.
Interesting call right there, punting it, right? I mean, you have a 4th down. You just made a great play on 3rd down. You got to have the football right here. Like, you're trying to make a splash. Year one as a head coach, you have a yard to get. You got to go there. You got to test your guys.
Some people, though, in the corner of their brain, they'll say, my defense played pretty well first series. We gave up one big play. Let the defense kind of go out there again. Here's a counter. Gebhardt runs over a linebacker, gets face masked, and that flag will come in and fly down. Gebhardt takes it all the way out past the 30-yard line as he was able to gain 14 yards on that play. He's going to get bonus yards here as they will walk off a face mask as his head was turned about halfway through that carry.
Devin, how hard is he run the ball? You have to make a business decision every single time you approach Grady Gebhardt and want to make that tackle. If Grady has a weakness carrying the football, it's that he doesn't avoid contact enough. He wants to initiate contact every single time he carries the football. It's just pain for somebody else.
The run by Gebhardt and the face mask will net 29 yards as they will move the football out to the 46-yard line. Here's Jacobson on a keeper, slide steps a tackler. He's going to have a first down as he comes out and gains 10.2 yards. First carry of the game in the rushing game by Gannon Jacobson for 2 yards and a Trojan first down.
And like we say, they do simple so good. That's what Southeast does. They do simple. They're going to go to the inside. They're going to go to the inside. There's always moving parts, but it's a simple offense when you're doing everything correctly. There's not a lot of things going on. It's a lot of motions, but everything's pretty similar.
Hopkins is wide open. Jacobson finds him. He's going to drop it right in his jersey, and Malachi Hopkins now on the opposite side of Caden Berrigan. He ran right past the corner, Tyler, and is into the end zone with his first touchdown of the season.
And that's exactly what you talk about. You hammer inside run game. These corners, their eyes are there. All of a sudden, it's a little shoulder movement from Jacobson, and Hopkins is on his own. Great play right there from the Trojans.
If there's anything to pick apart about that play from a Trojan standpoint, Malachi had to wait on the ball a little bit, but he was so darn open. 14-0. Point after pending. They're going to fake it to Gebhardt, now fake it to Amarion Holub. Jacobson is going to be stymied and tackled short of the pylon. Maybe misread that a little bit and didn't get in the fifth gear as he should have, but still 14-0 southeast of Saline. 4:39 left to go, and the Trojans have struck now twice on two big pass plays. One to Caden Berrigan of 36 yards, one to Malachi Hopkins of 44 yards.
And so now what are you doing as a secondary? You've been burnt twice, big pass plays. And I guess what the strength of this Southeast offense is? Probably not that style, right? Their strength is going to be pounding in the trenches, just beating you down. So here's what's going to happen. That secondary is going to loosen up a little bit. Get ready for some big runs by the Southeast running game.
Well, I know Mitch Gebhardt, we talk about it all the time. He loves to stay balanced, but to your point, last year they averaged 237 yards on the ground and 173 in the air. I feel like a lot of that had to do with some of the weather that we played in last year. You got to figure how many rainy games we had. Of course, you're playing late into the season, late November. It's cold. That kind of got more towards the rushing game late than what it was early on.
Well, your numbers are always going to be they're going to even themselves out when you start playing those late games because all of a sudden you're playing against the state's best. And that's when they relied on their running game. And, obviously some huge passes from Jacobson to various receivers to get them, the state championship. But, yeah, they're extremely balanced.
Hopkins, this is a sidewinder kick. It's going to bounce at the 17-yard line. It's going to be scooped up there by Jasper Johns, and he's going to make his way to the 25 where Minneapolis will take over once again on their fourth drive of the night. Glad you could join us for Southeast of Saline Trojan football. It's brought to you by the Southeast of Saline Education Foundation. Also, the Shelter Insurance Agency of Kelly Kitchener, Kniper Agency of Farmers Insurance, Salina Ortho, along with Mary Maids and the Appliance Center. Devin Haney, Tyler Smith here at Minneapolis High School on the artificial turf. A little rain earlier today and last night, of course, but turned out pretty good for this one. Trips to the right-hand side, a total of 4 wide receivers. Here's Gebhardt showing the blitz. They're going to plow it out on the wide receiver screen, and that does not work at all. Kenyon Douglas there for Southeast of Saline. Katie led this defense last year in tackles, 109 tackles, 18 for loss for Kenyon Douglas. You think he's a tackling machine, and he is. He's also a coverage guy, though, Tyler. He had 3 interceptions last year.
Look at that play right there. You think they've seen it a couple times on film. Immediately, Douglas sees the receiver. He breaks the hips. Anytime you're a defensive back, you're looking at hips. The hips are broken. Douglas flies. Just a great play from Douglas.
2 receivers now to the near side of the field. They send 2 to the far side of the field. There Kenyon Douglas is in coverage this time, playing more of a cornerback spot. Here's Just trying to get away from Brody Chambers. Just with a ball down his hip, and he's just going to throw it away at midfield, targeting some photographers over here at midfield. That'll bring up 3rd down and 12 from the 23-yard line.
And that's a great play from Just right there. That shows his leadership right there. That shows the amount of, his experience, the amount of games he's been, at the helm for Minneapolis. A younger quarterback might try to force something, especially across the field. Throw the ball away, live for another down. That's such a big thing to teach quarterbacks. That's why Minneapolis is going to be all right with just a quarterback. He knows those things. He knows those nuances of the game. Extend your drive to the next play.
That was the first incomplete pass for Owen Just. He's 2 of 3 for 6 yards so far this evening. And they have a big 3rd down and 12 staring them in the face mask right now from their own 23-yard line. 2 receivers on each side of the field once again. Southeast of Saline's defense making adjustments. A quick screen out there, and it's going to be tackled right away by Kenyon Douglas. I get amazed every time I look at Kenyon Douglas, and I can't get out of my brain, Tyler. He started at outside linebacker for Mitch Gebhardt his sophomore season, was off to a great start. I was enamored with the guy. And then all of a sudden he hurts his knee, and he's out for the season. He was robbed a year of football. He did everything he had to do to come back, be a guy last year, as I said, over 100 tackles. He slid out those last 2 plays and was playing coverage corner.
Well, and it was his awareness of the sticks again. He knew the catch can be completed. It's going to be fine, but he's going to make sure the first down is not made.
So that little quick slant that Minneapolis just ran went for 7 yards. The punt, fair caught by Jacobson. So Southeast of Saline will take over at their own 35-yard line. Speaking of the weather, pretty good football weather here tonight, but if you were unfortunately involved in some of that storm and the hail that went through on Wednesday night, there was some large hail in the area and around Saline County. Call our buddy Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing. He will come out, give you a free estimate, totally honest about what you need and what you don't need on your home. Also, they have siding, gutters, shingles. Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing. He'll come out, give you a free estimate, and get you all squared away with your insurance company. Run right up the middle for Southeast of Saline. That's Gebhardt again. He's going to break off 5 yards.
And Devin, it might not always be pretty, but those 5 yards are just fun. You're seeing guards pull. You're seeing movement in the offensive line. You're just seeing that entire line of scrimmage just shift and move. You continue to do that. If you're doing that early on, things are going to get fun later. 2nd
down and 5 now from the 40. They go back to Grady. A little slow start, and then he smashes the accelerator down. He's going to come all the way out to the 50, and a 1st down for Southeast of Saline after a gain of 10. The start for Grady Gebhardt tonight, 6 carries, 41 yards, as the ball sits right on the Minneapolis logo at the 50-yard line.
And right there was Chambers as the right guard that just comes and just seals that edge. He leads through, again, that one hole and just seals everything off and just makes it super easy. You see right there, Killian Vaughn just left a little bit early.
Kenyon Douglas was in motion. Killian Vaughn left a little bit early there. So 2 guys in motion at the same time will drive Southeast of Saline back 5 yards to the 45-yard line. And we've already seen, as I said, just rotations coming through. Killian Vaughn is in there. He's playing now on offense. Also in there. And Killian Vaughn, by the way, he's kind of that flex guy, right? He came in and played center last year. Now he's in there for guard for Drew Weller. Here's the give to Gebhardt, 1st and 15, slips a tackle at the line of scrimmage, gets away again, now down the right-hand sideline, gets through another tackle to 30, steps back into the field of play after not going out of bounds, and makes it all the way to the 23-yard line. Are you kidding me? Grady Gebhardt that time just took 32 yards away from the Minneapolis defense.
And again, that one, he was untouched. He was untouched through 7-8 yards. There was nobody near him. Everybody did their job. They took care of the outside backer coming through. Again, that's the trenches. That's winning the trenches and let Gebhardt go out and work.
All the way to the 24 went Grady Gebhardt. Now all of a sudden he's averaging over 10 yards a carry. 1st and 10 from the 24. Here's the end around. Kenyon Douglas. He has a seam. He is in the red zone now, and he'll be brought down at about the 13. Southeast of Saline has not had any time in the red zone tonight, so it's our first chance to remind you that they are in the red zone, brought to you by Can-Equip, the Case IH red zone dealer in Solomon. They have that brand new state-of-the-art facility right off I-70 at the Solomon exit. 10 yards, or from the 10-yard line, I should say. Here's Kenyon Douglas now on the pass play. And just as I'm bragging about his versatility, he shows it there. A run and a pass totaling 24 yards and another Southeast of Saline touchdown.
And it's just the amount of pressure they're putting on the inside and the outside right there. As a defensive back, you don't know what to do. It just takes a little rollout. There wasn't a lot of window dressing there. Just a little rollout. These DBs are gassed. Just a great play call. You continue to run the ball inside. Every once in a while you sprinkle a little outside run, and then all of a sudden you give Jacobson the opportunity to throw or pass when he rolls out. He's so dangerous.
1:18 left to go here in the first quarter. Here's a snap back to Jacobson. He's going to have a couple of fakes again, rolling out to the right-hand side. He is going to throw it up at the last moment. It's going to be knocked out of the air by Minneapolis, maybe even intercepted. Nope, they're going to say it's incomplete. And once again, Southeast of Saline will be turned away on the two-point conversion attempt. But with 1:18 left to go, Southeast of Saline on the board again. Gannon Jacobson with his third touchdown pass of the night. Gannon is 3 of 3 for 3 touchdowns. He's going for the Mr. Efficiency rating tonight here in this game, Tyler.
It's not horrible, right? And they've been passes. The runs are leading up to this. He's hitting wide open receivers, but it's knowing where the ball goes. And I think that's something, going back to last year's game, when we talk about, Gannon Jacobson's first varsity start, his first pass last year against Minneapolis was intercepted. I think things were moving really fast for Jacobson last year and those first couple drives. Things have slowed down. This guy's seen things. He's been in situations that nobody thought that he could get out of other than them. And when I say them, it's Southeast Saline. It's those guys. I think a lot of us thought there was no way. He's seen things, and now he's seeing the game so much better.
Always enjoy talking to people about Southeast of Saline sports. And, of course, the topic of the state title came up. And the question I got probably the most was, how'd they win those last 2 games? They were dead and buried. And, my first response, there was 100 responses I can have. My first response, though, was Gannon Jacobson. The kid doesn't know how to lose.
No, they don't. And you ask him, and he legitimately knew they were going to win the game.
Here's Malachi Hopkins, hand in the air. He's going to kick it away with 78 seconds left to go. Minneapolis will take it at the 15-yard line. It's Johns on the return, and he will bring it out almost to the 30-yard line again. Decent return and respectable field position here for the Minneapolis Lions, who trail it 20-0, 1:13 left to go. Minneapolis will come out here and start at their own 30-yard line.
So I think right now Minneapolis has to establish an identity. We've seen them in the we've seen them in the eye, we've seen them spread it out, we've seen them in the gun, we've seen a lot of different things, and this is something you see a lot. With a new coach, you have to have an offensive identity. If you don't have the offensive identity, you don't know what you're going to do in situations. As now they're back into an eye. You've got to establish what you are offensively before you can have success.
Give right up the gut. It's going to be Jasper Johns again. He is hit hard by Brody Chambers. Right at the handoff came in. Steele will be able to muster, though, 2 yards on his second carry of the night.
And again, this option game, if you want to go to the fullback, if you want to go and you want to read this, that's fine. But you have to establish that early. It's tough to win football games when you're down 20-0, and now trying to come back with that offense.
That read option almost takes too long, doesn't it, when you're playing a defense like Southeast?
Without a doubt. You're just getting crushed, right at the point of impact.
Here's a give. Once again, it's Chambers. This time he brought along with him in his sidecar Bryson Lippold. And Minneapolis is going to plunge ahead for a gain of a couple. Bryson Longberger that time on the carry. Maybe got 1.5 yards.
Yeah, and again, it was just collapse at the line of scrimmage. That gives backers that second level time to come up. If the backers aren't getting touched, you cannot have a successful run game. You've got to get those offensive linemen through that first line to the second level. Make sure they can get hands on bodies. And then your goal is always you want your running back to make a secondary guy miss.
Looks like Minneapolis is just going to take this to the second quarter, and they will as the time runs out on the first quarter. Little stumble on the first drive, but since then, Southeast of Saline has looked the part of a defending state champion at the end of one, 20-0. The Trojans leading the Minneapolis Lions. Southeast of Saline football on KINA and also on SalinaPost.com with live stream video tonight, and it's all brought to you by L&L Advisors.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Beautiful night for week number 1 of high school football. You can hear all about it. Scores and game wraps from across the state of Kansas tonight from 10 until 11 o'clock on KINA. It's Eric Peterson. He'll take us around the state and get all the updates on the Kansas Information Network High School Football Scoreboard Show. It's brought to you by Salina Surgical Hospital right here on KINA. A full hour, 10 until 11 o'clock every Friday night through Thanksgiving weekend. For Minneapolis, it's 3rd down and 7. Football sitting at their own 33-yard line now as we flip field, starting out the second quarter. Owen Just looks to the right. Now he checks back left, has some space, but he's being shadowed by Marion Hollub. Marion did not break down well for that tackle, and that's going to end up being a first down maybe for Minneapolis. There's a flag on the play back at the 50-yard line in the secondary for Southeast of Saline's defense. So let's check that and see what it is. It looks like they're going to walk it off in favor of the Lions as they say face mask against Southeast of Saline. That's our second face mask of the night, one on each team.
Well, I think at some point for Minneapolis to have successful drives, that's what they're going to need to do. You're going to have to spread it out and let Just kind of work. Like, let him figure out if he can find, the first option, second option. If that option's not there, he's got to go. He's got to make sure he can run. Just great athlete. He's got to be able to do things. You got to put the ball in his hands if you're going to have successful drives.
That was just the 5-yard variety on Southeast of Saline's defense. The earlier one against Minneapolis was a 15-yarder. Here's the give. Little counter play from left to right. Brody Chambers there. Also getting up off the bottom of the pile for Southeast of Saline was Drew Weller. Gain of 2 on the play for Minneapolis. Jasper Johns once again on the carry. 3 carries for him unofficially, 7 yards.
Yeah, we haven't seen Just keep that ball many times. I don't know exactly what he's reading because it looks like there is open space. He's supposed to be reading that end or that back or if they crash down, but right now he's just giving every time on that option play. 2nd down and 8. Lions at midfield, 2 receivers on each side. Here's a little quick out, and we saw his arm strength there. The release was a little strange. It looked like maybe he was looking pump fake and then realized the receiver was open, but those two not quite on the same page.
Yeah, but not a bad ball at all. I mean, You saw just an absolute strike from Just and just barely out the outstretched hands of Nolan Arnold. Arnold did a good job trying to adjust back, but I think you're exactly right. The timing is a little bit off. I thought maybe a pump fake was coming and something else bigger was on its way. I thought Just made the right read after he came back and decided to go to Arnold, but Arnold just couldn't make the catch.
3 of 5 throwing the football tonight so far for Owen Just. Once again facing 3rd down and long. It's 3rd down and 8 for Minneapolis. From the 48, Just being chased, trying to get out of the pocket. He's still being chased to the far side, and he's going to make it to the line of scrimmage. Throws the ball out in the stands, and they're going to have a late hit. Probably a personal foul coming up on that far sideline. When it gets over there, I don't say a whole lot about it because we can't see over there.
No.
So we saw a hit come in, maybe probably out of bounds as far as the officials saw. You don't see a whole lot of argument out of Southeast of Saline sideline, so they're probably going to have to pay the penalty piper here as they will give Minneapolis a first down when it should be 4th down in a punting situation.
But again, that's twice now we've seen 3rd and long situations. Minneapolis spreads the offense out. That means we have receivers everywhere. We're not going in that I formation, and you're letting Just make decisions. If receivers aren't open, he's going to use his legs. Right there, use his legs, got to the outside, and then just athletic enough that you have to make the hit. You can't just let him stay in bounds. Took a step out of bounds. Good call from the officials. 15 yards against Southeast of Saline.
See if Minneapolis can take advantage of these penalties that has kept this drive alive. They are now in Southeast of Saline territory at the 37-yard line. Here's a handoff, and One of the guys that was involved in that sideline play atones for that sideline play, and that's Elijah Kerr. Boy, a guy that just didn't get much varsity time last year. He is really showing out here in this first game.
Well, the sophomore Elijah Kerr looks much different than the freshman Elijah Kerr did last year. I mean, this is a guy that's put in work in the weight room. Again, you're going to hear the Kerr name. You know it if you're a Southeast fan and a supporter. I mean, this guy is developing into an absolute monster. He's big enough to play that position. He's quick enough. That's a great play from the sophomore.
Loss of 3 on the play from Minneapolis. 2nd down and 13. Back to the 40-yard line. I formation. Here's a jump now up front. And it's, as you said, a little younger here, getting experience. Good, bad, back and forth. And Brody Chambers talking to Elijah Kerr, who will come out of the game right now, and he's being replaced by Tristan Swank. The rotations, though, are what I am watching for Southeast of Saline. We talk about starters coming back. I only had to replace 2 guys starting on defense for Southeast of Saline, but it goes much deeper than that.
It really does. And you bring Swank off the bench. He's a starter. The sophomore is a first guy off the bus type of guy. I mean, this guy looks the flipping part.
Here's the tailback give. Bryson Lippold there. Read that one perfectly. Got a little help on the end of the play from Brody Chambers. And that will bring up 3rd down and 6 after a gain of about 2.
Yeah, Lippold again just trying to attack that. And we're seeing the inside game not work extremely well. Now I would expect, again, you're going to see shotgun formation. You're going to see either trips or doubles, and you're going to give the opportunity to just either use his legs or find an open receiver. And I'm wrong. We're going twins to the right side.
No receivers to the left. They stay in the I formation. Couple of receivers to the right, as you said. We're going to have a stoppage in play. Looks like Minneapolis will call a timeout. So we will take it as well. 9:04 left to play here in the second quarter. As we push our way towards halftime, it's 20-0. Southeast of Saline, as you listen to it right here on KINA.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the Heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits, APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
Insurance is something we all need in our business, home, car, and life. But do you really understand what's covered? And most importantly, what you are paying for? Hi, this is Rob Carlson in the Salina office of Smart Insurance. Change is good, especially if you haven't looked at your insurance policy lately. I can help you understand what you need and where the gaps are in your coverage. We provide free quotes and take pride in looking out for you. Smart Insurance, with locations in Salina, Abilene, and Harrington. Give us a call today.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back at Minneapolis High School, Southeast of Saline's Booster Club brings you live coverage to showcase exceptional student activities and build that purple power. It is always a great day to be a Trojan. 3rd down and 6, Minneapolis from the Southeast of Saline 33-yard line. Roll out right-hand side, just being chased. He's going to let it go, and it is complete. Short of the first down, though. It's just a 3-yard play to the 30-yard line. Hit immediately by that Southeast of Saline defense.
But, Devin, I really like that from Justin. I like that from Minneapolis. It's 4-down territory. You know you're going for it on 4th down regardless. Pick up a couple of yards here. Make that 4th down more manageable. Just didn't try to do anything extra. He's given his team an opportunity right here for a 4th down and 3 opportunity.
Was able to find Bryson Longberger that time. A different kind of option play, right? Because instead of the read option, it's a rollout where Just can read it and run or pass.
And how many times have we seen Southeast have success on that right there? You have that inside receiver who just goes, he finds a soft spot in the zone, just sat right there. So, again, it's living for another down. That's the biggest thing that young teams, any team has to do. You have to live for another down.
4th down and 3 for the Lions, and a stoppage in play as they take a delay of game. Boy, that hurts. So 5 yards back will go the Minneapolis Lions. It'll drive them back to the 35 after a delay of game.
Yeah, that's extremely painful. I mean, they're putting together a nice drive right here. 10 plays. I mean, they're moving the ball. They're eating up clock. That's exactly what you have to do against an explosive offense. You just want to matriculate the ball down the field, right?
Well, Hank Stram.
There you go. Just with the Chiefs playing, it's a good theme, but you can't have setbacks like that.
Their 4th and 3 turns into a 4th and 8 from the 35-yard line. Just with a hard count, trying to get a Trojan to get anxious and jump off sides. Nobody accommodating that request yet. And they might take another delay of game here if they can't get somebody to jump. And it looks like they will take a timeout. So a timeout here for Minneapolis. We will step aside and take it as well. 4th down for the Lions when we come back here on KINA.
Are you looking to upgrade your home with high-quality flooring and appliances? Look no further than Salina Appliance and Flooring. We're your one-stop shop for all your home improvement needs. We offer a wide selection of flooring and appliance options. Visit our showroom today located at 740 North 9th or our website at salinaappliance.com.
The Appliance Center, your local, trustworthy, and family-owned appliance dealer, providing sales, service, and parts for Salina and the surrounding area since 1980. The Appliance Center, just north of Ace Hardware on Broadway in the red and white building. Stop in today and experience the Appliance Center difference.
For 40 years, Phillips Seed has delivered top-quality certified seeds. With wheat drilling season approaching, now's the time to reach out to Phillips Seed Farms for the latest variety options and tailored seed treatments. It's also the perfect opportunity to plant your corn hybrids and soybean varieties for the 2025 planting season. Visit PhillipsSeed.com. Follow us on Facebook and X, or connect with a local seed dealer near you. Phillips Seed, serving, innovating, growing since 1985.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
4th down for Minneapolis. It's 4th down and 8. Little pump fake to the left. They want to go deep. Going to the end zone is Owen Just. He has a man and a touchdown for the Lions. That timeout pays off well for the Minneapolis Lions as Owen Just puts it right in the breadbasket of his receiver, Braden Johnson. And that came from 35 yards away on 4th and 8.
Just a great play call right there. Southeast Saline, we talked about their awareness of down and distance earlier on. That was just poor down and distance awareness right there. If they do throw that quick bubble, you've got time. You got enough guys to corral that. Too many players bid on that right there. And you know what? Coach Gebhardt, the defensive staff, they're going to be okay with that because that's going to be a teaching point going on for the rest of the season. But what a throw from Just. I mean, that's a great play. Galensky, ends up, that's a great call. He gets timeout, understands that he had that play call in his bag.
35 yards, Just now in a 2-point conversion formation. As he looks to the right, little shoulder fake. He's going to go right up the middle. He runs into Killian Vaughn, though, and there's no money in that, as he's going to be driven back and get turned away on that 2-point conversion. So with 7:27 left to go here in the second quarter, it's the Lions of Minneapolis who have the only points of the quarter thus far, and they trail Southeast of Saline 20-6, a 35-yard touchdown strike from Owen Just to Braden Johnson, the first touchdown of a brand new football season for the Lions of Minneapolis.
And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to sustain possessions with the football. Just continue to drive down the field, hit a big play right there on 4th down. Those are drives you build on right now if you're Minneapolis. Just a great job all together, keeping hold of the football, eliminating penalties, taking advantage of Southeast penalties, and convert on the back end.
Gypsum Fall Festival is coming up October 18th. See a full schedule of events for the Gyp Show Fall Festival and Carnival. It's going to be a big deal this year. Check it out on Facebook. All the events and the full schedule at Gypsum Valley Booster Club on Facebook. Take a check of our Bennington State Bank scoreboard for the first time. Troy leads Republic County halfway through the second quarter, 14-0. Andale leading El Dorado at the end of one, 40-0. Hayesville Campus and Junction City at the end of one, locked up in a tight game, 3-0 Blue Jays. Also Scott City leading Cimarron 20-0 at the end of one. Manhattan leading Garden City 14-0. The Indians from Manhattan, always one of the best teams in the state in Class 6A. El Saline and Hanover, a big matchup in 8-man Division I. They're all tied up 8-8 at the end of the first. So we take our first check of the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Minneapolis set to put the ball in the air. Squib kick. It's going to land in the hands of Canyon Douglas at the 10-yard line. He'll angle off to the left-hand side to the 20. Gets the accelerator at the 25. Takes on a line and driven out of bounds at the 30. Here comes the Southeast of Saline offense. I almost feel like I need to go over starters once again, Tyler, because we haven't seen the Trojan offense in so long.
No, yeah, it's been a while, and that's how you – and this Minneapolis defense finally got time to rest, and we say rest. We know a lot of these guys go two ways, but it's time just to regroup, get your bearings straight again, understand, what you're doing, get those reads. let's see what happens on this drive.
30-yard line will be the starting spot. Caden Berrigan splits out to the right-hand side. With him, Kenyon Douglas in the slot. In motion, here comes Amarion Hollup. They give him the ball. Look out, Amarion has some wheels. He's going to be tripped up, though, in the backfield, but still able to stumble ahead for a gain that time. As we see Amarion Hollup's first touch. Amarion is interesting to me. He was the number 2 tailback last year. Of course, came in and did a great job when Grady Gebhardt got hurt. Coach Gebhardt told me, though, they're going to get the ball in his hands this year quite a bit. He said, I can't have him on the bench. Here's a little screen play out to Grady Gebhardt. He's going to take it to the left-hand side. Look out down the left-hand sideline as he's hit high around the chest plate and driven out of bounds after crossing midfield.
And talk about guys needing to get more touches right there. You know, we've seen a lot of inside run from Grady Gebhardt, and he's fantastic there. We got him on the edge right there. He's not too shabby out there as well.
To the 45. Southeast ready to go again. 5 wide receivers. Here's a screen to Berrigan. Berrigan at the 40, 35, 30. Caught from behind and taken down at the 29-yard line after a gain of 16 yards.
And again, you're seeing Minneapolis drop back a little bit. Watch what happens when these DBs start coming up. You're going to see a pump and go at some point in this drive.
All the way to the 29, and Minneapolis has to have a timeout because they couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with Southeast of Saline as they are getting down the field there. Gannon Jacobson threw 2 passes in the time that it took me to put my right shoe on this morning.
Well,
and they're slip-ons.
And Devin, they're so quick. And I know it looks so easy when you're watching at home and we watch on Saturdays and Sundays. But if that ball's a little bit, to the wrong side, all of a sudden that messes up timing. Those balls are right there on the money. What that does is it lets your blockers come. It's just about creating space. Every single successful football team figures out a way to put it's about creating space. And it's no different than seeing a GT or a guard pulling right there. We saw Gebhardt in there. He was leading the way. You're doing the exact same thing. You're just shifting the field. You're shifting where your line is. You're shifting where your blockers are. Just a great play call, but that play call cannot be successful unless that ball is right on the money and you get the receiver in stride.
Football sitting at the 29-yard line right now. Those 2 passes by Jacobson. The first one to Grady Gebhardt went for 22 yards. The second one to Caden Berrigan went for 16 yards. 38 yards in 2 passes. Jacobson still perfect tonight, 5 of 5 with 3 touchdowns. A tight formation this time. Douglas goes in motion. He's going to take the handoff from Jacobson, looking for a crease. He has one, steps through a tackler, and he's going to be close to a first down. Brought down at the 20 after a gain of 9. Kenyon Douglas on his second carry of the night.
Yeah, anytime you see Southeast in a tight formation, you'll see this from a lot of teams. Anytime they're tight, you're probably going to try to get the ball in the perimeter. Again, you're creating space outside. Right there, that was a missed Gebhardt block away from going for 6.
Trips to the right-hand side. It's a total of 5. Empty backfield for Jacobson. Screen pass out to Berrigan. KB getting a block from Grady Gebhardt. It's a race to the pylon. Caden Berrigan taken out of bounds just short inside of the 1-yard line. A 20-yard screen play. Gannon Jacobson to Caden Berrigan.
First of all, another great throw. Berrigan in stride. Gebhardt missed the block on the play right before that. Right there, he took one Minneapolis player out, slowed another one up, almost 2 blocks on one play, really extended that play for Southeast.
Ball flirting with the goal line. Gebhardt back into the backfield here. They're going to turn, give it to Grady. He goes ahead, right into the back of Brody Chambers, who was collapsed on top of a line-in, and a touchdown for Southeast of Saline. 6:02 left to go in the second quarter. And Southeast of Saline on the board with lightning-quick turbo offense.
And that's what you want to do, right? Your defense was on the field. They took their time, and you get kind of itchy as an offensive play caller right there, right? You want to get it going again as we see the swinging gate from Southeast of Saline.
First time we've seen the swinging gate. Direct snap back to Jacobson. He's rolling out, has Caden Berrigan and Bryson Lippold in front. And Jacobson will just put this one out in front and score himself. 2-yard run by Gannon Jacobson as he puts a 2-pointer on the board, and all of a sudden that momentum that Minneapolis might have been feeling is stolen right back by this Trojan offense, who goes on a 1-minute, 25-second drive. Are you kidding me?
It's so demoralizing, right? We talked about how great the Minneapolis drive was preceding this, and they did everything right. They took advantage of opportunities, slowly moved the ball down the field. A penalty would happen. It would go their way. They'd get the first down, had a big play. Everything went right. And then a minute 20 later, you're in the same spot score-wise.
That scoring drive, 1 minute, 25 seconds, 70 yards. Gannon Jacobson was 3 of 3, along with Grady Gebhardt, a 22-yard reception. Caden Berrigan, 2 receptions, totaling 36 yards. And then Gebhardt puts the cap on it with a 1-yard touchdown run. Scoring recap brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine.
And Devin, we're seeing it right now. So we've seen Gebhardt kill you in many ways. We've seen him with the long ball early, okay? Then what we talked about this, the DBs, you have to retreat. You have to give room because you don't want to get burned over the top. So then we saw Gebhardt go to the short game, okay? So we've seen outside long, outside short. Let's see that, get some middle crossers going as well and just check every single box of his throwing arsenal because right now his throwing – he's seeing the field so well. He's making the right choices.
Jacobson.
This game's looking easy for Jacobson.
Yeah. South Central tied at 7 for the Mayor's Cup. Last report we had. Chapman Smith Center tied at 0. Last report we had on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Here's the return for Minneapolis. Johns has it at the 16. He breaks a couple of Trojan tackles and slips his way through to the 34-yard line. Again, Minneapolis, pretty good field position here in this first half.
Yeah, you got to love that if you're Coach Kalinske. Like, you want to see that fight. It's always so difficult to be a special teams coach when your kick return team's on the field what seems like all the time. And just a great job. Just continue to gain yards, continue to fight.
Stick with us at halftime. We'll talk Southeast of Saline cross country with Wade Castleman. First meet in the books yesterday. Southeast went and ran with a bunch of 5 and 6A schools at Great Bend. We'll have those results for you and also a look at this year's cross country squad with Coach Castleman. That's coming up at the half. Here's a run by Minneapolis straight up the gut. Looks like the ball comes out. Killian Vaughn with it once again. Remember, he got a fumble recovery in the first quarter, but they're going to say that this play is dead. So if that play was dead, there shouldn't be a gain on the play, right? If it was blown dead because forward progress was stopped, it needs to go back to the line of scrimmage and not have a gain.
Well, it's great to be able to hear Coach Gebhardt from across the field. He said, boys, it's offense. Get our offense on the field. That's our ball. Love the energy, right? We talked about, 16 years for Coach Gebhardt? Coaching like it's his first game he's ever been on the sideline.
16th at Southeast of Saline, is 31st overall. His record at Southeast, 116-39.
Unreal.
Yeah. Second down and 9 after that 1-yard gain through the hands of a receiver and incomplete. Once again, a pass from Owen Just. And a flag on the far side.
Yeah, and that's a couple times we've seen just absolute bullets thrown from Just. Again, right on the spot. Arnold just had a tough time bringing that in. Defenders swarming him around, but you really want to see that ball gathered in if you're a Lions fan.
Penalty on Minneapolis procedure. Southeast is going to deny that and say that they'll take the down instead. So it'll go to 3rd down and 9. Football sitting at the 35-yard line.
So, again, this is the time. You want to spread the offense out if you're Minneapolis. You want to see, which will then spread the defense out and let Just make a decision. Let's see some penetration from a backer right here. It looks like Killian's, he's wanting to come.
Bryson Lippoldnell's out in coverage. Little pump fake. Just puts it in a crease. Grady Gebhardt, Kenyon Douglas there on coverage. And that ball goes incomplete. And Minneapolis looking at a 4th down. So 4th down and 9. Football will be sitting at their own 35-yard line. See if the punt unit comes on. It will, as we see Logan Haley set to retreat here and stand back near his 20-yard line. He'll kick it away. Gannon Jacobs and Malachi Hopkins back deep for Southeast of Saline. The flexibility of this Southeast defense is what I'm most impressed with so far. We're seeing linebackers out in coverage. There's a good punt by Logan Haley, and it's going to be taken by Jacobson at the 28-yard line. Out to the 40, 50. Other side of the field and steps out of bounds at the 40-yard line. How much territory did he cover in a short amount of time?
When Devin, you said a good punt. Completely outkicked this coverage. I mean, almost too good of a punt. You can't kick a line drive with that little of hang time and give Gannon Jacobson a running start. The line was set up. Great return from Jacobson.
30 yards on the punt return for Gannon Jacobson. That'll bring Southeast of Saline's offense back out on the field. If you're looking for the Chiefs, they're in Brazil tonight playing the Chargers. That's over on 99 KG tonight. First down and 10, Jacobson, play action. Faked it to Gebhardt, rolled out, threw it behind Bryson Lippold. And with 4:38 left to go in the second quarter, that is the first incomplete pass for senior quarterback Gannon Jacobson.
We'll give him one of those.
Yep.
He had a wide open Bryson Lippold right there, and Lippold had some space right there. It happens every once in a while.
Yep. Boy, what a nice night, huh? Getting the hoodie out for week 1. Be 90 next week, probably. Second down and 10. Southeast with 2 receivers to the right. They're going to go to Gebhardt this time as he takes the handoff, and he will plunge ahead for 3.
Yeah, and again, that Minneapolis defensive line did a good job right there. They did a good job not letting the Southeast offensive linemen get to that second level. You saw the backers, that second level, come up, make a good play on Gebhardt.
Third down and 7 for Southeast of Saline. Keep in mind, though, they're probably looking at 7 yards in 2 plays, as I don't see them punting in Minneapolis territory if they don't get it here. Third down and 7. Ball sitting at the 37-yard line. Jacobson back to pass, throws it out to Gebhardt. Gebhardt hit immediately by Owen Just. Gebhardt made it almost to the 35-yard line. It's going to go as a gain of 2, and now fourth down coming up here for Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. 4-down territory. You're just looking for positive yards, and you're also always wondering if this play is going to set something else up.
Going to be a timeout here for Southeast of Saline, and we will keep it right here with a fourth down coming up for Southeast. Ball is sitting on the 36-yard line, and they're going to need 6 yards. You're going to have to get it inside the 30 to keep this drive alive. So Russ Kossel's been in this spot here where you are now graciously, thank you, being here, and 4 seasons. And I tell you that to tell you this. First of all, Russ is, everything's okay. He has a son at Hoisington who is playing football on the varsity level, so he's being a dad for this year and next year, most likely as well. So him and I were talking earlier. I just told him, hey, have fun tonight, yell out at your kid and do all those things that parents do. And he said, yeah, he goes, how long did I do that, 4 years? And I said, yeah, you saw 3 losses in 4 seasons. And that is the blessing of watching Southeast football on Friday night. So what a crazy, crazy deal that is. That when I said that, I was like, yeah, you saw 3 losses in 4 seasons.
Nuts. It's not normal. It is not normal, folks.
Fourth down here for Southeast. Jacobson, a couple of handoff fakes. He's going to throw it out on a screen. What a beautiful lofting pass that was to Grady Gebhardt, and Grady just destroys a Minneapolis tackler and takes it all the way to the 15-yard line. Look out, Grady Gebhardt got loose on that play and gets 21 yards on the screen play.
Devin, it's the play design that I love the most. You see Douglas in motion. It's the fake handoff, and all of a sudden, you know what Douglas is? He's a lead blocker with a full head of steam.
45 yards now for Gebhardt. Now he's running inside the 10, inside the 5, and runs over another Minneapolis Lion. I think maybe a couple of Lions made business decisions there as they watch Grady Gebhardt take it in from 15 yards away. Remember when I said it was fourth down from the 36? All 36 of those yards, Grady Gebhardt.
Just fantastic right there. The ball in his hands. He is extremely dangerous. He can run around you. He prefers to run through you, and we saw that in those last 2 plays.
15-yard touchdown there. Swinging gate once again. Jacobson wants to take it right up the middle, puts his basketball skills on display. A little spin move as he puts a Lion in the spin cycle, and he's going to score once again. 3:22 left to go. Southeast of Saline now with back-to-back touchdowns as they're able to convert a fourth down play, and the Trojans here, Tyler, have taken a 30-point lead.
And again, they just not only they're answering their own answers. I love the swinging gate. I think sometimes we make football too difficult. I think at times, let's let kids play. Let's just draw this up. Let's get our best athletes, again, in space. It's going to be a theme that we talk about all season because Coach Gebhardt and his staff are so good about putting them in space. And there's nothing that puts you in more space right there. The swing gate is basically 3-on-3 football on one side. It's 8-on-8 on the other side. If you don't know how to defend it, it's going to be crazy. If you can defend it well, it's still going to be crazy. But you're putting your best athlete with the ball in his hands, and guess what? There's other great athletes around him. Jacobson continues to make great decisions just like he's in the backyard.
A swinging gate, all it is an elimination play, right? Instead of 11, as you said, it's 3-on-3. It's how are you going to defend my 3 guys who a lot of times are the better athletes on the field. You take everybody else, shove them over to one side, and see how it's defended. And they've been doing it forever. I know it's on film, but still it's one of those things you can't stop it.
Well, and, Devin, what it also does is it makes you spend 15 minutes a day at practice every single day talking about
minimum.
it. And I know that sounds so minimal when you're saying you practice all the time. Time is the most important thing to any football team. And when you're taking 15 minutes out of a practice to prepare for that, it kills your practice.
Hopkins puts the football in the air. Johns chasing it back deep. Will take it at the 12. Around the face mask, he brings it in. He'll get 10 yards on the return out to the 22 or 23-yard line. Here's a score for you from the NCKL and an opponent that we will see next week in Clay Center. The Tigers tonight in Abilene, and at halftime, 0-0. Cowboys and Tigers. That's a rivalry. We talk about Abilene-Chapman all the time. Abilene-Clay Center's pretty good as well.
Yeah, watching Abilene at the Jamboree last week, they've got some guys. I mean, they can play. They got some dudes. We know what Clay Center can do year in and year out. That's a fun matchup to watch.
Minneapolis taking over here on this drive. They will start at their own 23-yard line. 3:18 left to go as they get ready to try to assemble another quality drive here. Ball on the turf. Owen Just is going to pick it up and then flip it back to his running back. This is going to be a loss for Minneapolis as he flipped it back to Bryson Longberger, who really couldn't do much with it. They're going to lose 3 on the play.
But what Longberger did right there is he ran right into the line of scrimmage. He didn't try to do anything special. That could be a play that if you have a younger running back, you might see them try to dance around and lose more yards. The junior Longberger just ran right into the gut of that thing, right into the eye of the storm, and it looks, of course, it's a loss, but that's a play that's the toughness. That's the no quit that you want to see if you're a Minneapolis fan.
Clock continuing to run here. Second down and 13 after the 3-yard loss on first down. Clock down to 2:36 left to go. Again, stay here at halftime. We'll have a brief conversation on the field with Mitch Gebhardt, and then we will talk to Wade Castleman after the first break of half. 2 wide receivers left-hand side. Just looking that way. Has a receiver. It's off the fingertips, and it falls incomplete. So Owen Just, after getting off to a good start, 3 of 3 to start this game, is now 4 of 9.
Well, and right there, I want to say that play looked like an option type play, and you saw that the receiver Hopkins stayed back, and it led to a short pass opportunity.
3rd down and 13 now from the 30-yard line. Minneapolis taking time here, trying to see what they can get together. Certainly don't want to give Southeast of Saline the ball back with the way things have been going here in the last couple of drives. 2:19 left to go. That incomplete pass, though, stopped the clock. That's 3rd and 13. 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Just back. Now he's going to take off. He's going to run. Amarion Hall up there to shadow him, and Owen Just is going to throw this one out of bounds. 4 out of 10 now passing the football for Owen Just. That'll bring up 4th down and 13. And Southeast of Saline's punt return unit makes their way back out onto the field. Tyler is making his way down to the field to the Salina Ortho sidelines. He will get the comments of head coach Mitch Gebhardt before he goes into the locker room here at half. We always grab Coach Gebhardt when we can, gracious with his time and short conversations here and there, letting us see what's going on inside the headsets of the head coach. 2:11 left to go here. Minneapolis getting their punt unit ready to go. Logan Haley will be back with his heels at the 5-yard line. Jacobson and Hopkins standing back at the 45 at midfield. Here's the punt from Haley. It's a good one. Hopkins comes up, takes it to 50, makes it to the 45, twists and turns. They may give him the 43-yard line on that play. Once again, Southeast of Saline starting out here in Minneapolis territory. They have some time to work and a chance here to close the half on a positive note offensively for Southeast of Saline. Jacobson has his offense out there. 4 wide receivers, 3 of them to the near side. 1st down and 10. Jacobson rolling out left. Wants to throw the ball quickly. Going down to catch the football at the 39-yard line will be Malachi Hopkins. That's a gain of 5. Jacobson to Malachi. Jacobson again, going quick, has Grady Gebhardt. Grady at the 30, Grady at the 20, outrunning the Lion defense, and all the way to the end zone. Grady Gebhardt all the way through to the end zone as he was able to get a touchdown there. And Tyler, it's the screen passes for Southeast.
Yeah, it's that screen pass. And we talked about the speed. Devin, I'll tell you what, watching the speed from up there in the booth, completely different from down here in the field. Going on was money. He was super fast.
Oh, it looks fast from up here. I can't imagine what it looks like from down there. 4 touchdowns now for Gannon Jacobson. as Southeast of Saline getting ready to pitch it out to the right. Traditional formation this time. What a cutback by Grady Gebhardt, and he's going to get the 2-point conversion in as well. So a 2-play drive that time with 1:33 left to go. It's Jacobson to Gebhardt on the screenplay, and that pass went for 39 yards. And it's going to be Gebhardt on the 2-point conversion run. 44-6 now is our score as Southeast of Saline. And these the last 3 possessions. Tyler, you remember back when Minneapolis scored and it was a 2-possession game, 20-6. Since then, it's been all Trojans.
Yeah, you've really seen Southeast. We've seen the full arsenal now of the offense, right? We've seen the inside run. We've seen the outside run. It's that short, quick pass game. And then all of a sudden, again, you're coming up taking care of that inside run game. What happens? It's the screen play that is always called at the right time. The recipe is always right. If you saw it, Gebhardt right there catches the ball and just races down the field, outran everyone, and had a wall of blockers in front of him.
There were probably 3 lines that I saw that had an angle on him, and he outran the angle.
0 angles when you have Grady Gebhardt and you're trying to chase him down.
Yeah, unbelievable. 1:33 left to go. Another just impressive drive. That one only 2 plays, and it comes 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes after their last score. Scoring recaps brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook, Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. His walk-in clinic Monday and Thursdays. You can go in the morning, see Dr. Westbrook. If you had some tough activities on a weekend or maybe some sports, go see Dr. Westbrook. He'll get you right. Here's Minneapolis now picking up the football at the 11-yard line. Misplayed initially, but they end up picking it up and making their way out to about the 22-yard line, where the Lions will look to finish the half there. 1:26 left on the clock as we push our way towards the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. Don't forget about the Southeast of Saline Booster Bash coming up. Once again, the Booster Club hard at work as they're getting ready to put on the 2nd annual Booster Bash. That's coming up on Saturday, October 11th. A great time was had by all last year, raising money for a good cause. I'll be there again. Tyler will be there again. We'll have a great time at the Booster Bash. Get your reservations made now and join us on October 11th. First down for Minneapolis. Owen just takes the snap. He's rolling out to the left-hand side. Throws his hands up in the air in frustration as he's running towards the sideline, just throws the ball out of bounds. You can see it in that play, Tyler. He is extremely frustrated.
That he is, but if I had Tristan Swank running after me, I'm doing the exact same thing. I was doing the same thing. I'm not even on the field of play. I'm out there. I saw Swank running towards Just again, made a good decision right there. There was no receivers open, great secondary coverage, and you have pursuit. When you have defensive linemen that can pursue you like that, especially when you get outside of the edge, it makes things extremely difficult. We know the pursuit's coming up the middle, but again, when you get your defensive linemen to also pursue to the outside, it's darn near impossible to find an open receiver.
You have 2 insurance logos in the turf right there next to you. I thought you were going to need maybe some of that insurance. 1:18 left to go. 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass from Owen Just. Threw that one out of bounds to live to go another day. A flag on the play here from the near sideline. Just still scrambling around, and he'll throw it out of bounds once again for another incomplete pass. And now we have to check the flag. That lays at about the 21-yard line. Not the line of scrimmage, but pretty close. And as I said, it came from the Minneapolis sideline over here, so we'll see what infraction caused that one.
And again, it was the middle pursuit. It was the middle pursuit, flushed out of the pocket. If it's not a quick hitter for Just, it's going to be a struggle because then you saw, again, the pursuit was there. Just a great job from the Southeast Saline defense.
Procedure that time against Minneapolis. Once again, Southeast of Saline declines it. They would rather have the time and the down than the yardage. 3rd down and 10. 2 incomplete passes there for Minneapolis, both of them going out of bounds on throwaways. Just now will duck under center. He'll turn, hand it off to Longberger. Pile moving and gets shuffled out to the 24 on a gain of 3. Promptly, Mitch Gebhardt will call a timeout to stop the clock. 1:01 left on the clock. Southeast isn't done yet.
No, and I think a lot of times people are going to look at the score. They say it's 44-6. Why are you calling a timeout? You can't replicate a minute drive. You have to utilize game time. You can't do this at practice, right? You've got to utilize how do you run your 2-minute offense, your 1-minute offense. We saw how this paid off last season in the postseason, right? Like if you don't work on these things Friday nights, you're not used to them when you're in the playoffs, when you're in the state championship game and all heck has broke loose. If you don't work on this stuff on Friday nights, you're not prepared for it when the postseason comes.
I agree with that. That's 95% of it. But do the math with me. If Southeast goes down, they put up 8 points here. they're surpassed the 45-point rule. I know that doesn't matter in the third quarter unless it's mutually agreed upon, but you're already at that point.
It's better math than me. That means perhaps a little Chiefs fourth quarter when we all get home. But no, you're exactly right. But it's all about, there's so many things. You're always teaching. You're always coaching. So one thing we always talk about, how great of a coach Mitch Gebhardt is. Great coaches are also great teachers. You're constantly teaching. You're constantly working on things, and that's what he's doing with his kids right now.
Southeast defense allowed just 2 yards on that drive. More importantly, they have only given up 32 seconds since the last time they scored. So they are definitely playing down, distance, time right now. Back to punt once again for Minneapolis is Logan Haley. Haley standing back at his own 11 is going to put the ball in the air. A little bit of heat that time. Haley had to get rid of it. It's going to take a bounce, a good bounce for Minneapolis. It's going to come down and flirt with the 30-yard line. Now Gannon Jacobson's going to pick it up. Minneapolis was watching that football. Gannon's going to pick it up, now run down the sideline and save Southeast about 20 yards. Minneapolis watched that ball way too long. Jacobson and Hopkins were both going in to grab the football. Jacobson ends up with it and has a 20-yard return out to midfield.
Devin, it's the same thing we talked about on the swinging gate. You talk about backyard football. You talk about just watching the game, doing things over and over. Gannon sees that there's numbers, right? The whistle hasn't been blown. This team plays from the snap to the whistle. It doesn't matter what happens. Jacobson saw an opportunity and made a big play for Southeast.
51 yards in front of them, 44 seconds left to go. Jacobson, 5 wide receivers, 4 of them to the right, and he tried to get Grady Gebhardt over the middle of the field. Jacobson took some heat on that play as he was knocked down. And an incomplete pass for Gannon Jacobson. That's his 12th pass attempt of the night.
Hey,
He's
Devin,
only thrown 2 incompletions.
Devin, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Gebhardt, there was a defensive holding right there as he made that slant. No call, so it's not a penalty, but a great job from Minneapolis to get away with that.
Empty backfield once again. Here's the screen out to Gebhardt. It has Berrigan out in front. Grady looking what he can get. He gets the first down, then steps out of bounds. A gain of 11, I think, here at the 40-yard line. So not only stopping the clock, but also getting a first down. As Grady Gebhardt proving to be an asset in the receiving game here in this game. First down and 10 from the 41. Jacobson rolling out left, has Malachi Hopkins out there. Malachi will do the same as he will break off a first down and then step out of bounds and stop the clock to the 27-yard line.
You're seeing the experience, right? You can make a cut and you can come inside, but what that does is that burns a little bit of clock. You're going to have to use another timeout. They know to get out of bounds, preserve that final timeout, do what you need to do to extend this drive while stopping the clock.
Little screen play out left again to Hopkins. He is going to get a first down again, stays in bounds, still on his feet, down inside the 10-yard line. 16 seconds on the clock, and they're going to stop the clock with another timeout. Hopkins down inside the 10-yard line that time.
And I apologize saying I only had one timeout. I misread that from over here. I can't really tell how many timeouts.
I can't either. That scoreboard's tough.
But again, so we talk about trying to get to the outside all the time. All of a sudden you do make that cut and you come inside when the defense is trying to force you to the outside. You saw Malachi gain another 8 to 9 yards just by making that cut inside.
So Hopkins back-to-back, 14 and 16 yards. He's having a nice night as well. 79 yards for Malachi Hopkins tonight. The football sitting at the 11-yard line. And I believe the scoreboard says Southeast of Saline and Minneapolis are both out of timeouts with 16.1 seconds left. Football sitting at the 11. And Southeast of Saline with a first down at the 11-yard line.
So the thought process is right here. You're throwing the ball, correct? What you can't do when you can get a first down, but you don't have a lot of room to play with. So you're looking something in the end zone. You have 3 shots at this if you want to make 3 throws if they're quick to get yourself into the end zone. You can't catch the ball without getting to the end zone and dance around without getting out of bounds.
Jacobson throws it back to Gebhardt. Gebhardt has to dodge a tackler. Now he's going to put the gas down, and he's going to get into the end zone. Holy cow, he does it again. Grady Gebhardt on this screen pass has just been dangerous tonight, as this time he scores from 11 yards away and another touchdown. Gannon Jacobson now with 5 passing touchdowns in the first half.
Devin, the one thing you can say about that play is we have Grady Gebhardt and you don't. That play was gone. It was dead. right? Minneapolis did a great job right there. They sniffed it out. They had a tackler there. Gebhardt just sheds him off and then sprints to the end zone.
Here's the 2-point conversion, end around. Canyon Douglas and Grady Gebhardt just depleted a Minneapolis tackler. A flag comes down from the near side. The 2-point conversion was good, but the official right to your right-hand side, Tyler, dropped that flag on the ground. What a block by Grady. Canyon ended up getting in. Now let's see what the call is. It's going to be against Minneapolis, and the 2-point conversion will stand. So Canyon Douglas gets another 2-point conversion with 7.7 seconds left here in the first half. It is 52-6, southeast of Saline.
And it is coming a flurry, hasn't it? You know, again, you talked about it wasn't too long ago. This was a 2-possession game. And then you just start seeing the snowball. And that's what's so dangerous when you're playing a team like Southeast. If you don't have long, sustained drives, you're going to be in trouble because they don't need a lot of time to score.
52-6 here with 7.5 seconds left. The league rule is 45 or more point differential, fourth quarter the clock runs. There are situations, and we have seen them frequently, where at halftime all the parties get together and they're in agreement that let's run the clock the whole second half. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here. I just want to explain the rules so people know why sometimes it happens, why sometimes it doesn't. Malachi Hopkins ready to kick it away. Hand in the air as he looks over his coverage team. Pretty good noise coming out of that southeast of Saline sideline. Ball in the air. And a big hit on Johns as he comes down at the 30-yard line. First guy there for southeast of Saline, Tyler Bramblett, on that hit.
Yeah, big-time hit. What I love seeing from Johns is Johns continues to attack. He got popped, and there were 11 Southeast hats, but Johns pops right up. This is a tough kid. I mean, this kid continues to throw himself into the eye of danger, throw himself into the eye of the storm. Johns is an impressive young man to watch down here field level.
Just a half a second left here for Minneapolis as ball is on the 30. And Owen Just is going to take a knee and call it good for the half. So at halftime we go 52-6. Keep it tuned in right here. We'll give head coach Mitch Gebhardt a couple of moments to get his headset put down and cradled up, and then he'll make his way to Tyler Smith to get comments on the field. Those comments are brought to you by Frisbee Construction from the Salina Ortho sideline before we go to half. And then we will take a break. When we come back after the break, Wade Castleman will join us as we'll talk southeast of Saline cross country. A big half here for southeast of Saline. Remember, they went half the quarter of the second quarter without scoring any points, and they end up putting 52 on the scoreboard. They lead it 52-6 here as we go to the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. We'll also check the Bennington State Bank scoreboard for you when we come back here during the halftime report, and also stats from the first half presented by the Bank of Tesket. Let's go down on the field. Tyler Smith with the head coach, Mitch Gebhardt.
Coach Gebhardt, 52-6 lead, entering half. We've seen you pound the ball inside. We've seen the perimeter game go. We've seen Gannon cut loose. We've seen Grady run wild. What's going to be the message to the guys in the second half?
Well, we're going to talk about the mistakes we made. Yes, all that's great and everything else, but I felt like we were pretty sloppy, especially to start out with. I thought we finished well there the last 4.5 or 5 minutes. I thought our offense pretty well took control of that. And our defense played well. We just made some costly mistakes, and we gave up that touchdown. And but overall, I mean, for a first night, score 52 points. Feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, without doubt, and we've noticed it was after that. It was 20-6 at one point, a 2-possession game. That sloppy defensive possession, you guys answered back. How huge was it to get 2 possessions under 2 minutes to kind of work on that fast-paced 2-minute offense?
It's great. I mean, obviously we try to do that in practice and things like that. But when you get to do it against in a game like that, it's the experience that you get from that is outstanding. And I thought our kids did an excellent job of, especially this early in the year, of executing that.
Superb. Coach Gebhardt, best of luck in the second half. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. That's Tyler Smith on the field with head coach Mitch Gebhardt as he goes to the locker room. His Trojans leading 52-6 as we go to the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. Take a break. When we come back, Wade Castleman will join us. Southeast of Saline cross country season preview and also results from their first meet yesterday in Great Bend. It's all coming up here at the break. Trojan football is right here on KINA.
It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at salinahomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
New Image is offering ceramic tint. If you are sending your child off to school or your wife on a road trip, ceramic tint offers heat rejection up to 90%, privacy in a college town or in the city, and it helps keep wear down on the AC system, making the car easier to cool down. Never worry about you or your kid locking their keys in the car. With Drone Mobile, you can unlock their car for them from anywhere. Vehicle breakdown in an unknown area, GPS locating helps roadside services find your loved one quickly with the ability to send the vehicle location directly to the rescue squad. New Image Audio, your official tinting establishment for over 14 years, located at 340 South Broadway in Salina. Phone calls are welcome.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
Hey Trojans fans, this is Angela Gephardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gephardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Tesket goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Go Trojans!
Bank of Tesket, member FDIC.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap, stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Let's head back to the stadium for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here on halftime, Southeast of Saline football tonight, opening a brand new season in Minneapolis against the Lions. And it's time to check in on Southeast of Saline cross country. To do that, we'll sit down and have a visit with head coach Wade Castleman. Their season getting underway yesterday. It's brought to you by Winnell Garrettson at salinahomes.com. Boy, Coach, a big meet for you yesterday. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But first, how'd your off season go? The cross country teams are back and looking to be better than ever. How's everything going with Southeast of Saline's runners?
You know, the kids worked hard this summer and, put in the mileage like we hope. There's a few that didn't put in as much as we hoped also. But for the most part, we're where we think we need to be at this point in the season. There's still plenty of room for improvement. And, it's a long season, but it's flying by. It's hard to believe that week 3 is almost over for us already.
Yeah, it really is. Let's go first through these two teams with the ladies first. We'll go through and just tell me about some of the returners that you have coming back, some of the newer kind of younger prospects that have moved into high school, and just your overall view of what the ladies are going to do this year.
Right. On the girls' side, we have everybody back except for Callie Augustine. She was our lone senior last year. Unfortunately, we do not have any seniors on our squad this year, and we don't have any freshmen on our squad. So it's our returning now sophomores and juniors from last year with Piper Brown, Ava McGraw, who's a sophomore, Anna Jackson, Reagan Duran, Layla Lund, Brooklyn Hartman, and I know I'm forgetting somebody, Aaliyah Barnaby. So, those girls all had varsity experience last year at some point, if not all season, a couple of meets, if not. But, they're having to fill some shoes, and our juniors are having to provide that leadership that we usually have our seniors do. And they've done a nice job so far.
Let's switch over to the other side. How about the guys for Southeast of Saline?
On the guys' side, Jacob Tony was a senior last year, our only senior that we had last year. So we've got quite a few seniors this year. Braden Walker, Jacob Bircher, Isaiah Kerr, and Miguel Ortega. Isaiah was out the majority of last season with an injury, but we hope, and he then turned around and got hurt after the first track meet, and so he's behind where he would like to be at this point. But the others are coming along. Jacob and Braden put in lots of miles over this summer, and they're providing good leadership for these younger kids that we have.
You guys have an off-season summer program just like any other sport. You also have a couple of weeks when school gets in where you can officially practice and get prepared for that first meet. You and I, Coach, were talking off the air. Our weather lately has been incredible for this time of year, and that included the weather for the meet yesterday. Tell me about your preparation once school gets back in and you're allowed to practice as a team on school grounds. What's that first few days like getting ready for that first meet?
So that first week, we still had the extremely hot weather. The first week of practice, that is. And, we went after school that first day, but it was actually too hot that we couldn't technically practice outside until it, with the wet bulb temperature. So from that point on, we went mornings the rest of that week, and probably could have gone in the afternoons, but we just went ahead and kept it in the morning. But since that point, it's been nice and cool, and, we hope that this will stay, but we know sometimes the Southeast of Saline Invitational is a scorcher, so, and that's, 3 weeks away, 2 or 3 weeks away. So we hope that doesn't return, but we're enjoying the nice cooler weather that we have right now.
Here at halftime, we're talking with Wade Castleman, head cross-country coach at Southeast of Saline. Coach, your first meet yesterday, it's in the books. You went to Great Bend. And, boy, I look at the teams that participated in this invitational. A lot of 5, a lot of 6A competition, a lot of bigger schools for Southeast of Saline. Talk about your competition and then lead me off with how the girls did yesterday.
Yeah, the competition was really good yesterday. There were 17 full teams there, and like you said, a lot of 5 and 6A schools. We were one of the smaller schools there. Lakin was the only other 3A school that was there in Nest City. I can't remember if they're 1A or 2A right now, but we don't back down from competition, and we look forward to it and embrace it, and it only makes us better throughout the season. Next week when we go to Wamego, we run in the 4A division, and we have since we started going to that meet probably 4 or 5 years ago. And I think it just makes us stronger and builds our confidence. So when we do start to see the 3A competition, we know that, hey, we're right where we need to be.
How did your girls place yesterday?
Our girls placed 6th place out of 17 full teams yesterday, and I was pleased. We've got some people that aren't quite where we want them to be, but then I get to comparing their times to last year, and they're 2 minutes ahead of where they were last year at that meet. So I can't be too disappointed with that. We know that we've got to cut our time gap down between our 4th and 5th runner. Especially in a meet that size, that's a lot of bodies that can get in between there and really runs the score up. But overall, I was very pleased with the girls yesterday.
How about the boys? Good showing there, right?
Very good showing on the boys. The boys were 2nd out of 19 full teams behind Bishop Carroll, which is strong every year in 5A. And very pleased. Great Bend let us enter 10 in the varsity race yesterday. So we had some people that I wasn't quite sure were they ready to run varsity or not. And it was nice to be able to enter 10 and roll the dice and see who our top 7 would be. And we had some kids that really surprised me yesterday.
This is one of those great opportunities that you're able to take some younger runners from the junior high level along, too. How'd that go?
The junior high ran very well yesterday. Ava Avery Tripp, who is an 8th grader. She won the 8th grade girls 2-mile race. And then Baylor Brown, who's a 7th grade girl, she won the 7th grade 1-mile run. And then Bryce Hartman, who's an 8th grade boy, this is his first year out for cross country. He was in 9th place with a quarter mile to go and ended up 4th place yesterday and basically had the same time as 3rd place. So, those younger kids, we're going to need them in the years to come, and it's nice seeing them having success early at the junior high level.
Sounds like a great day yesterday at Great Bend. Next up, another tough meet for you, right? You mentioned Wamego. I know that's always a special meet for you. You run up a classification. What do you expect out of Wamego? Probably the same old stuff, right? It's going to be a very competitive day.
It will be a very competitive day. 4A is one of the tougher classifications, and we're looking forward to it. The course is challenging. It's a very hilly course. Complete opposite of what we ran on yesterday at Great Bend. Great Bend's pretty flat. And some people say the Wamego course is more challenging and harder than Rimrock, which is where we run the state meet. But some people think it's easier. And we tend to run really good times there. So we're hoping for that. We've got some tired legs right now, and we're going to address that this next week to kind of freshen them up a little bit. We're not going to taper completely, but just to make sure we don't run them into the ground too much and get them somebody hurt. But just so we're ready for Wamego next week. Yeah.
Always love hearing about Southeast of Saline cross country. That's head coach Wade Castleman with us. Coach, best of luck this season. Of course, we'll be keeping in touch with you and have a good meet next week at Wamego.
Thank you, Devin. We really appreciate it.
Back with more Southeast of Saline halftime after this on KINA.
Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knopf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knopf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
It's natural to think that insurance is complicated, but at Farmers Agency, we know a thing or two about helping to make it easier by explaining your available coverage options. And with over 25 years of experience in insurance, we can help you through the process step by step. Call Kniper Agency at 825-8419 to learn more today.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Salina Surgical Hospital is a high-quality surgical facility with a comfortable and home-like atmosphere. Together with our community's greatest doctors, we are committed to a patient care model where exceptional satisfaction is the norm and every patient feels like they are treated with respect, dignity, and compassion. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local community-involved physicians. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure with us. Salina Surgical Hospital. Your voice, your choice.
Suit up for your next Southeast of Saline game day with Trojan gear from CopyCo. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more available off the rack or customized. At CopyCo, they offer all the printing and custom apparel you need at the prices and fast turnaround you've come to expect over the last 30 years as your local hometown print shop. Whether you're a diehard Trojan fan, a coach planning the next big event, or a business looking to sponsor the team, they've got everything you need to show your Southeast of Saline spirit. CopyCo, more than just a copy center, a proud sponsor of Southeast of Saline.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back here to the Equity Bank broadcast booth. Devin Haney, Tyler Smith, as we are getting ready for the second half. First half stats for you, brought to you by the Bank of Tesket. Let's first start with the Minneapolis Lions. Owen just throwing the football, 4 of 12, 48 yards and a touchdown. Minneapolis also has 20 yards rushing, 68 total yards of offense. They had a fumble in the first quarter that was recovered by Killian Vaughn. For Southeast of Saline's Trojans, Cannon Jacobson's 12 out of 14 throwing the football, 229 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He spread the ball out, 4 different. Southeast wide receivers caught a touchdown from Gannon Jacobson, led by Grady Gebhardt, and those slip screens. 6 catches for Grady, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Second leading receiver, Malachi Hopkins, 4 catches, 79 yards. Caden Berrigan, 3 catches, 72 yards. Kenyon Douglas had a catch for 12 yards, all 4 of them with at least 1 touchdown reception. Rushing the football, Grady Gebhardt, 10 carries, 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. 21 yards on 2 carries for Kenyon Douglas. A carry and a touchdown for 10 yards for Gannon Jacobson. Amarion Hollop had a carry for 3 yards. Total numbers for Southeast of Salina in that first half, 126 rushing yards, 229 passing yards, a total of 355 yards of total offense for the Trojans, who, after doing the math and it was all said and done, you and I, Tyler, made reference to the first half where there were 7 minutes and some change left where Minneapolis scored their touchdown. It was a 2-possession game. It was 20-7. From that point on, Southeast of Saline scored 32 points in a little over 7 minutes.
Yeah, and they answered, right? Like this game of football, any sport, it's not going to be perfect. Doesn't matter how you play. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be things that happen. And early on, I mean, again, we talked about that drive that Minneapolis had. They closed the gap, 2-possession game. All of a sudden they're in it, and then that's when Southeast dropped the hammer. I mean, there was scoring just in floods. It was from the inside, the outside. We saw the passing game. We saw it was that initial drive after the Minneapolis touchdown where we just saw quick, bubbles to the outside. We got the receivers in space. All of a sudden, receivers came back up. We went over the top. Everything was clicking for the Southeast offense.
The unfortunate thing for Minneapolis is they have to kick off to Southeast now to start the second half. Take a check of the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Some interesting scores coming on as we look around the area in week number 1. Let's go through a few of those for you on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Clay Center leads Abilene at the end of the third quarter. That game's moving right along, 7-0 Tigers. Nemaha Central and Marysville, 35-0 Thunder at halftime as Nemaha Central is taking care of Marysville. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be taken by Kenyon Douglas at the 20-yard line. He's going to go across field, now cut it back and be brought down after a return of about 10. Southeast of Saline will come out here, and they will start their first drive of the second half at the 29-yard line.
And you saw Kanan just trying to get that wall set up, going to the outside right there. You want to see him just get going. We see the clock is going to run.
We have all new guys on the field right now. We have Bramblett out here on the left-hand side. We have Tiernan Potocik taking over at quarterback. Levon Hopkins will be with him in the backfield. Jaden Kloster also out here on the left. Snap back to Potocik, gives it to Hopkins. Hopkins runs through one line, sniffs the 35-yard line. He'll be taken down at the 34 after a gain of 5. First carry of the game for what is essentially RB number 2 this year for Southeast of Saline. It's Levon Hopkins.
Yeah, Levon Hopkins, he's an impressive figure back there. I mean, he gets the ball, you get him going downhill, and again, that's a business decision type of guy.
Potocik, southpaw, puts it right in the numbers on the far-hand side. It's going to be a first down for Southeast of Saline. Adam Teal on the catch that time for Southeast of Saline out to the 44-yard line. That's a gain of 10. Tiernan to Teal. That's a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
It really does. And I think, again, that's going to be one put in your back pocket. It's going to be used a lot.
I didn't practice that yet. First down from the 44. Potocik, little misdirection, cuts it back to the right on the quarterback keeper. He's going to break 5 yards off on that play.
And, Devin, you're seeing it right now. Anytime you bring in a second team, anytime you bring in just a different signal caller, another quarterback, you don't want to see penalties. You don't see this often. You don't see somebody else come in and all of a sudden you just run 3 plays off without a false start, without some kind of procedure call. Everybody's on script. They know what they're doing because they have the time. They've been working. They've had extended weeks last year. They just continue to build on that time.
Sophomore Tyson Keller's in the slot. He just came into the game. Pitch out to Levon Hopkins. He had some work to do there. Some blocks were missed up front. Levon's going to be tagged with a loss of 1 yard.
Yeah, you said there just penetration, from Minneapolis. The defensive line got penetration that allowed the backers and the corners to come into play. And effective. You didn't get good enough blocking on the perimeter to get anything for Hopkins to go.
Austin Bramblett has taken over at left tackle. Next to him at left guard is Ryan Weller. 3rd down and 7 for Southeast of Saline from the 47-yard line. Potocik back to pass, lets another one go. That's going to be caught on the far side, and look out down the right-hand sideline. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. Thought we were going to be talking about a touchdown. That is Casson Clover down the right-hand side. And again, Potocik, the lefty, just ripping passes from the pocket over there.
Tell you what, as soon as Clover got that ball, just barely stepped out of bounds right there. But when he took that ball, he was gone. That's dangerous right there. But another throw on the money from the junior Potocik. That's great to see.
About 19 yards that time to Clover. 2 of 2 passing the football. They go back to the run. And a few yards off the right-hand side that time for Southeast of Saline. That was Levon Hopkins once again. Got 4 yards on the play.
And again, we're trying our best with limited lighting up here in the press box. We got a lot of new bodies. We're trying to keep everybody informed, but we're squinting up here with our eyes.
33 from the 33. It's second down, and now it's going to be driven all the way back here. Tiernan was looking for some space. He couldn't find anything, and it's going to be all the way back to the 47-yard line. It's a loss of 14 on the play, the sack on Tiernan Potocik by the Minneapolis defense.
Yeah, the play action fake right there did not confuse Kingston Tierney. He was coming full head of steam. It looked like Tiernan might have been able to slip out of that, but Tierney did a good job just wrapping up Potocik for a huge loss.
Actually, they're going to say 10. They're going to give Tiernan a little bit of forward progress there back to the 46-yard line. So third down and about 20 now for Tiernan Potocik. He steps up in the pocket. Look out. Tiernan's got some space. Cuts it back to the right-hand side. Gets 2 blocks. He's down the right-hand sideline. Another big block. And Tiernan Potocik lost 10 yards to gain 46. And the junior quarterback into the end zone, making hay on third down and 20.
Devin Haney. What a read. Look, again, third and long. What are you going to do? You're looking for fourth down. Probably in 4-down territory right there. Potocik tucks the ball. Saw it wide open. He understood the offense. He knew there was going to be wide open space there, and the athleticism for Potocik to take that to the house. A great play from Tiernan right there.
Talked about the speed of the first team offense. Tiernan showed some wheels there as he got into that second level. And how about the blocking? They never gave up on that play. He got 2-3 really good blocks. Here's Tiernan now rolling out left-hand side. He's going to throw a ball low. Looks like it was caught, and it was. What a great effort out here on the sideline in the end zone by Adam Teal to haul that 2-point conversion in. 6:35 left to go here, and a touchdown for Southeast of Saline, putting another 8 points on the board and taking a 60-6 lead. If you are not going to play your starters and you start the second half with the ball, that's what you want to see.
Without a doubt. You didn't see a beat missed right there. No offensive penalties. You drove the ball down the field. You had a mishap. You had to deal with some adversity. You had a third and long. The offense stuck together, took it there. And then what a great throw right there. We talk about that might have been a low throw, but there was only one person that could catch that 2-point conversion throw, and that was Teal. It was down. It was low. It was near the pylon. Teal did a great job extending for the catch. Things are clicking. First team we saw it in the first half. The second team offense didn't miss a beat.
Something we haven't talked about yet, and I think we have time to do that now. People make comments, or people from the outside looking in, they're like, oh, where's Southeast get all these players at? Boy, they just reload every single year. Yes, that is true, but it's all homegrown talent, and it's games like this right here where you pull your starters at halftime, you put your second string, third string guys in, and they might still be playing against the other team's first team. And I'm not saying that's what Minneapolis is doing right now, but we see it time and time and time again. You're putting your backups in key situations underneath the lights on a varsity field. Then when they have to play, whether it's due to injury, moving people around, whatever it may be, they're not nervous. They've seen it. They're not shaken. They're ready to go.
Devin, they're also on film, all right? And they're getting critiqued on film just as hard as the first-team guys are. And they're also getting extended time. We talk about these playoff runs. Those playoff runs give you an extended amount of time practice. You know, you talk about spring ball that colleges have. That's basically what playoff runs give you, is more practices and more practice time for these young men to develop their skills.
Going to see Levon Hopkins now kick the ball. Minneapolis mishandles that. A big hit over there on Longberger, but he gets away, bounces off of it, and brings it back past the 35 to about the 36 or 37-yard line. So Minneapolis will start out there on their first drive of the second half. Clock already down to 4:35 left to go here in the third as the teams mutually agreed to a running clock here in the second half. It'll be short as we will work our way here towards the end of the third quarter already. Seems kind of hard to think about, but we've been in this situation before as well. 60-6, Southeast of Saline. Minneapolis will start out at the 37-yard line for this drive. That drive by Southeast, by the way, the second-team offense, 71 yards and a touchdown. Here's Owen Just, turns around, gives it to Longberger. Big run off the left-hand side. They feel like that's their best offense on that offensive line. It's Logan Haley and Wyatt Griffin, couple returning starters over there on the left-hand side. Longberger got 1 yard that time.
Yeah, and again, we see positive stuff from Minneapolis. And again, I want to go back to the identity. If they can develop an identity, there's some talent here. There's some things, and this is always difficult with a first-year coach, like just establishing that identity, figuring out what your guys can do, what puts you in the best opportunities to succeed. And you're not getting there's not many teams getting tested as well as Minneapolis is tonight. So just build off of this if you're Minneapolis moving forward.
2nd down and 9 from the 38. A little bit of early movement, but the officials let them play through it, and Minneapolis will come out to the 40-yard line on a gain of 2. To your point, not everybody's going to open up with a defending state champion, right? Southeast of Saline, give them their credit. In the NCAA alone, they have owned this league. They have won 7 straight NCAA league titles. They've also won 10 of the last 11. Fast forward to week number 2. Minneapolis plays Lions. That's a competitive game for Minneapolis. You can start the season 1-1.
Without a doubt. And then all of a sudden, and that's the one thing we hear a lot of coaches, we hear a lot of cliche, you go 1-0. You don't worry about the week previous. You don't worry about 2 weeks in advance. That's something that Coach Mitch Gephardt and his staff, they continue to pound. It's 1-0, and that's something that Coach Galancy's got to tell his guys after this game.
3rd down and 7. Owen Just back to pass. Here's the Southeast second-team defense getting after him, and Just is going to put that one right on the money. What a beautiful ball that was to Nolan Arnold. And Arnold steps out of bounds across midfield at the 42-yard line. That was a gain of 18 that time.
That was impressive from Just. Not only rolling to that left side, it makes it more difficult to throw from the right-hander, but he understood where the line of scrimmage was. He kind of took a glance over to make sure he didn't cross that line of scrimmage before he made the pass, threw that ball in an absolute line. Great catch from Nolan. 1st down, Minneapolis.
1st down and 10 at the 42-yard line for the Lions. I think Owen Justice would be fun to watch here this season. Almost 2,000 yards passing a year ago. You can see the athleticism in him. You can also, he's a leader, right? He's been playing varsity sports on just about every season that he has been around Minneapolis since he was freshman. He just kind of feels like one of those guys that when you talk about him and you bring up the name Owen Just, you're like, has he been here at Minneapolis for 12 years?
With that, and you heard Coach Galansky in his interview with Tyler Henry prior to the game say the ceiling for this young man is whatever he wants to do. I mean, He can play at the next level in multiple sports. It's just what he wants to do. But you're exactly right. His leadership is there. The physical tools are there. These are the tests right here. How do you keep your team together in games like this?
2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass there at the Southeast of Saline 43-yard line. Give straight up the gut. Goes to Jasper Johns, and he will make his way to the 36-yard line on a gain of 6.
And again, Johns talked about at the end of the first half, Johns just runs the ball hard. I mean, he doesn't shy away from contact. He's looking for the next yard. It doesn't matter if he has to try to run through somebody. He's always fighting for the additional yardage.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter already. 3rd down and 4 for Minneapolis as they are at the 36-yard line. Give right up the gut again to Johns. His knee might have been down early. Nope, they're going to say stumbling ahead. He got the 1st down. So a gain of 5 that time for Jasper Johns. He has 5 carries, 18 yards unofficially. 20 seconds left to go here in the 3rd. Southeast of Saline football brought to you all season long. And also tonight by Sage Products, Phillips Seed Farms, and Copyco. 1st down and 10. Minneapolis might just be letting this clock run out, and they will. We'll take it to the 4th quarter. Put all 4 fingers in the air. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll close this one out for you with the 4th and final quarter. Southeast of Saline leads Minneapolis here on the road, 60-6 on KINA.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
When crop and weather conditions are just right, you need to bale as much as you can, as fast as you can, all while putting up the highest quality product possible. Case IH round balers have the reputation as the hardest working balers in the business to consistently build dense bales with square shoulders that don't sag. No matter the crop or field condition, bale more with Case IH round balers. With easier maintenance and serviceability, you'll spend more time where it counts. In the field, baling hay. Ready to build a better bale? Contact Can Equip in Solomon.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Welcome back to the Equity Bank broadcast booth. Devin Haney, Tyler Smith. It's a 1st down and 10 for Minneapolis to start the 4th quarter here, as they will hand it off and try to go right up the middle for a gain of a yard. Minneapolis now looking at a 2nd down and 9. Quick 3rd quarter. Southeast of Saline got 8 points from their second-team offense as Tiernan Potachik broke off a 46-yard run on a 3rd down and 20. Since then, Minneapolis has had the ball, and they are slowly working their way down the field. 60-6 is our score.
When we're seeing this is the deepest the Minneapolis offense has gotten. You know, it was a long touchdown pass earlier on that scored their touchdown. So right now you're really wanting to see if Southeast can keep them out of the end zone, you know, taking away that long pass.
Just because you have second team out there doesn't mean the expectations change. I mean, I've talked to Coach Gebhardt about that quite a bit, and it does not change. He wants to see them continue with what the first-teamers have started here. Four yards on that play. 3rd down and 5 now for the Lions. 10:49 left to go. Don't forget Scoreboard Show tonight here on KINA from 10 until 11 o'clock. Scores and game wraps from across the state of Kansas. Eric Peterson will take you around the state for a full hour. That's brought to you by Salina Surgical Hospital. Play action. Owen just got away. Now he's going to put it in the air, and a wide open receiver at the goal line, and it is incomplete. Incomplete on the ground. The receiver never quite had it. What a play by Owen Just, but it's going to bring up 4th down on the incomplete pass.
And Devin, right there, that's that no-quit attitude. Absolutely burn. I'm looking for a number. Just turn. I'm looking for a number, but you see right there, it was 46 from Southeast Saline.
That's Tyler Bramblett.
So Bramblett's burnt.
Yeah,
absolutely burnt. Very, very easy to give up on that play. I would have given up. Very easy. He continues to attack the football. Any great DB, you see the football there. He continues. He doesn't quit. All of a sudden, what he did right there creates an incomplete pass. Now it's 4th and 5 for Minneapolis. Just a great hustle play when you're up 60-6. Those are the type of things you highlight as a coach.
The heat that time came from Lyric Lilly. 4th down and 5 for Minneapolis. Here's the heat once again. Just will get away. He's going to let it go to the end zone again as an open receiver, and that's going to be caught. Touchdown in Minneapolis as Owen Just goes right back to his receiver on the play, and a touchdown to Nolan Arnold, his second big catch of the half. That one comes from 27 yards away.
Yeah, and again, it was just legs that created that, right? At some point as a DB, you don't know if you need to come up and stop the run or stay with your receivers. Those scramble drills are really, really difficult. But again, that's something on tape. But that's just a great play from Just, creating that opportunity, creating a couple more seconds to get his receivers open and to kind of run free in the back of the end zone.
That one from 27 yards away. Second touchdown of the night for Minneapolis. Now they will go for 2 as the clock continues to run. Bad snap. Owen Just will pick it up, and he will just sprint to the end zone. Gets hit right at the goal line and ends up winning that collision. So Owen Just taking matters into his own hands and puts 8 more points on the board for the Minneapolis Lions. 60-14 now our score. And another score brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Keep it right here as we continue to roll on with a running clock. 60-14, Southeast of Saline out in front. Now we take a look ahead at what's coming up next for both of these teams. Minneapolis will stay in the NCAA. They'll travel to Lyons to take on the Lions next week. And boy, what an exciting day it's going to be at Southeast of Saline. It's almost like the good Lord above is teaching us patience tonight. It's like you have this beautiful new facility, but you can't use it yet. You have to wait till week 2. And boy, poetic justice there on the line for Clay Center, right? They had a brand new stadium 2 years ago. Southeast goes in there, hands them their first loss in their brand new apartment. Don't think that's been talked about at all, have you?
No. And of course, that's always going to be a tough matchup no matter what. But yes, when you're christening a brand new field, new stadium, I mean, the upgrade that has happened at Southeast of Saline in the last year and a half to all facilities. So I mean, so much support has been given. It's going to be a celebration. It's going to be fun, regardless. But the stars of the show are going to be the Southeast of Saline football Trojans.
Cannot wait to have a home game. It's been so long since we've been at Steve Fritz Field. It's just playing at Kansas Wesleyan was all great, and it was a blessing. But, man, there's nothing like your home field, and I cannot wait to be back there for a big game against Clay Center coming up next week. Tigers were up by 7 against the Abilene Cowboys at last check. Abilene, though, has come back and tied it with 4:48 left to go. The Tigers and the Cowboys all knotted up at 7. That's a big one in the NCKL early on. How tough is that league, right?
Year in and year out. It doesn't seem, and there's teams that will all of a sudden make a run, but there's always Clay Center up there at the top.
Tyson Keller on the kick return took it at the 12. He's going to negotiate his way all the way up past the 30-yard line, where Southeast of Saline will come out and start once again here with their offense. 6:15 left to go here in the game. So Clay Center on deck next week for Southeast of Saline. It'll be fun to be back on campus. Also next week, Tyler Henry will have the call of Abilene and Chapman, the Dickinson County showdown. About as close to oil and water as you can get. That'll be live on Salina Post Sports next week as well. Here's a movement up front. It's going to go against Southeast of Saline moving early, and it's going to cost them 5 yards, take them back to the 27-yard line.
And those are the penalties that just drive you mad, right? Especially after you were so smooth with your first drive, and then come out and on your first play of the drive, all of a sudden start behind the chains. There's great 1st and 10 plays. All of a sudden, 1st and 15 plays, your script gets a little smaller.
Other than a couple of 2-point conversions that were missed by Southeast of Saline, this score is identical to what it was last year. Last year, Southeast won this game 64-14 on their home field. Right now, it's 60-14. Give to Hopkins. Got back maybe a yard. Got tripped up early. 5 minutes left to go. Keep it tuned right here in postgame. Tyler will make his way back down to the Salina Ortho sidelines. He'll be on the field and talk to Mitch Gebhardt in postgame. We'll also have a Vernon Jewelers Gym of the Game in their 141st year, celebrating their anniversary right now. Great deals at Vernon Jewelers in downtown Salina. Screen play out to the left-hand side. That is dropped, and an incomplete pass will bring up 3rd down and 14 for Southeast.
Yeah, it looked like Hendricks Lund right there. Looks like the incomplete, but again, that ball was right on the money. Lund catches that. He's got blockers ahead of him. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of green ahead of him right there. But those are the tests. You want to see these kids under the Friday night lights. A little bit different than Monday afternoons. You want to see how these guys perform on Friday night.
Pitch out, Levon Hopkins. Little stutter step, runs over a Minneapolis Lion, but doesn't get much out of it. Actually loses about a yard, as we are now at the 4-minute mark left to go in this game.
And these are always tricky situations. It's 4th and long. This is what I am excited to see, the transition of this second-team punt team. You don't want to put your starters back out there. You don't want to risk them cooling down, coming back on. This is a lot of times when you get too many men on the field or not enough. But in true Southeast Saline fashion, that second team's out there. They're ready to go. They knew their jobs. They knew where to line up.
It's like Adam Teal in punt formation for Southeast of Saline. Good snap back to him. Adam will put his foot into it. It's going to bounce at the 45. Now take a good Trojan bounce inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Hanover has taken over in the game against El Saline, a game of 2 ranked teams in 8-man Division I. Right now, Hanover leading El Saline 24-8. Remember, El Saline lost that game a year ago, and then they went on a tear and ended up going deep into the 8-man playoffs. Tough test to open the season, though, with Hanover once again this season. Clock under 3 minutes. Tyler's making his way down to the Salina Ortho sidelines as Minneapolis takes over once again. They are 1st down and 10 to start another drive at their own 39-yard line. Backs in the I formation. Owen Just will turn and give it to the first man through. Out to the 44, it looks like. It'll be a gain of 5 for Minneapolis on that play. Clock continues to run, 2:25 left to go now in this game. I want to remind you, if you think you've sustained hail damage in the recent storms, give Bryson Flax a call at Ryan Roofing. Bryson Flax, a friend that you know and a guy that you can trust to come out and give you a free estimate and assess any damages that you've taken in on your roof, gutter, siding, even shutters. Bryson Flax there for you at Ryan Roofing. Free estimate. Make sure you will not develop any leaks from uncalled hail damage. Estimate's free. Why not do it? Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing. Have him come out and take a look. 3rd and 5 now for Minneapolis. 1:45 left to go. 60-14 our score. Getting ready to put the cap on week number 1. Tyler's made his way down to the field now as he's looking at a 3rd down and 5 with the rest of us here for the Minneapolis Lions. Single back, 2 wide receivers on the left-hand side. Owen Just will turn, hand it off to Longberger. He has some space over here on the left, cuts back to the inside. Looks like he's going to win a race. It's going to be a good carry, 56 yards from Bryson Longberger. His first score of the night, as he's able to run it up the left-hand side, and the junior in the end zone.
Yeah, you saw right there when the junior Longberger got the corner. Nobody was going to catch him. You saw a couple diving bodies from Southeast Saline. Good speed from Longberger once he planted that left foot in, went upfield. It was nothing but a touchdown, nothing but green space.
And that might do it with the clock still running. Minneapolis lining up here to go for 2. That was a 56-yard run from Bryson Longberger. Minneapolis going to try the extra point here on the kick. First extra point kick that we've had tonight, and it's impressive. Boy, what a kick that was. Put through there for Minneapolis. It's Logan Haley on the extra point. So Minneapolis gets an extra point. They have scored the last 2 touchdowns in this game. It's 60-21, and the clock continues to run, and I think both sides are pretty satisfied with what they have seen here tonight. So week number 1 for the defending champions in Class 2A. Pretty successful here. Strong finish, though, by Minneapolis, and we end up with a 60-21 final score. Time now for the Commercial Tire Center's postgame report. When we come back, we'll have comments from Mitch Gebhardt, the head coach, in the final here at week number 1. We'll also get a check of final stats from the Bank of Tesket. Review our Everhart Precision Ag Precision passes of the game, of quite a few of those from Gannon Jacobson tonight. And more, it's all coming up when we come back. Post-game brought to you by Commercial Tire Centers after a Trojan victory. Trojans 60, Minneapolis 21. Southeast of Saline starts 1-0 right here on KINA.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the Heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits, APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
Insurance is something we all need in our business, home, car, and life. But do you really understand what's covered? And most importantly, what you are paying for? Hi, this is Rob Carlson in the Salina office of Smart Insurance. Change is good, especially if you haven't looked at your insurance policy lately. I can help you understand what you need and where the gaps are in your coverage. We provide free quotes and take pride in looking out for you. Smart Insurance, with locations in Salina, Abilene, and Harrington. Give us a call today.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
Are you looking to upgrade your home with high-quality flooring and appliances? Look no further than Salina Appliance and Flooring. We're your one-stop shop for all your home improvement needs. We offer a wide selection of flooring and appliance options. Visit our showroom today located at 740 North 9th or our website at salinaappliance.com.
The Appliance Center, your local, trustworthy, and family-owned appliance dealer, providing sales, service, and parts for Salina and the surrounding area since 1980. The Appliance Center, just north of Ace Hardware on Broadway in the red and white building. Stop in today and experience the Appliance Center difference.
Time for the Trojan Postgame Show on KINA Sports. Stick around for the game recap, final stats, and reaction from the coach. This is Trojan Football on KINA.
Mitch Gebhardt set to join us soon here with Tyler Smith on the field as he patrols the Salina Ortho sidelines. Big win tonight for Southeast of Saline as they go 1-0 here in this game. 60-21, Southeast of Saline. Of course, most of that done in the first half. Let's go down on the field. Here's Tyler with Coach.
Yeah, first of all, Coach Gebhardt, 60-21 victory. You're 1-0 on the season. We know as fans that you don't care about what you are in the season. It's all about what you are in the week. You're 1-0. What stood out to you? What was the most impressive thing about your team entering this first week's matchup?
Well, we had to deal with some adversity already. I don't feel like we started well, and the kids responded. I felt like our varsity guys did a really good job finishing that second half. And then that first drive by some of our younger guys there was outstanding for them to be able to do that on a Friday night. And we got to play a lot of players tonight also.
Well, and I know that you haven't looked ahead to next week yet, and you might. I'm sure you will immediately. But how big is next week's matchup? Not just against a good Clay Center team, but to give back to the community for everything they've given to open up this new field, to christen it, the turf, the field house. What's that going to mean to you as the stalwart of this, Southeast Saline football team?
Well, we're excited to play at home. We're always excited to play at home, and our facilities are awesome now. It helps with practice. It helps with everything that we do, and Clay Center is going to be a good matchup for us, and we're going to have to play really well. We'll start working on that tonight and get the boys ready on Monday to get after it and try to go 1-0 again.
Coach Gebhardt, we can't wait to watch you go 1-0 again next week. Congratulations. Good luck next week.
Thank you very much, Tyler. On the field with Mitch Gebhardt, head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. It is now, keep that streak alive, right? It's a big one. It's 2,149 days. When the sun comes up tomorrow, it'll be 2,150 days since Southeast of Saline has last won a regular season game. Tyler, that streak, we don't talk about it enough, but you got to go all the way back to 2019 that Southeast of Saline lost a regular season game. And that was also the last time they lost a regular season game at home was 2019 against Riley County.
And, Devin, they continue to do it 1-0 at a time. Again, we talk about the cliche. We talk about that things happen. You talk to these guys. You talk to them when they're not on the football field. Talk to them in school. They don't know who the opponent is after the opponent they're playing. It's 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. That's the mentality. People are going to get sick of hearing us say it. But these players, they embody that culture. They embody that mentality. You continue to go 1-0, you create streaks like this.
Well, and you don't get overwhelmed and you don't get distracted by Beloit in Week 3 if you don't even look at Beloit in Week 3, you break the season down into bite-sized chunks and you take 1 week at a time. And as you said, I'm sure on the bus ride home from Minneapolis, they're going to start looking at the Clay Center Tigers. They're going to want to know what that result was with Clay Center and Abilene tonight. Of course, an NCKL matchup that's going down to the wire, but 7-7 was the last time we had a score. I'll try to find another one here. It's actually just gone final. Clay Center will come in next week, 1-0 on the season, and they will face a 1-0 Southeast of Saline team as Clay Center tonight beats Abilene 14-7. So the Tigers with a victory as they will come in, and they will be looking for a little bit of a measurement of revenge against this Southeast of Saline team who has beat them on Clay Center's home field the last 2 years in a row. And that's not a district matchup. It's not even in the same classification. Southeast of Saline is in 2A. Clay Center is in 3A. That is just purely a game that Mitch Gebhardt has put on the schedule to help his team get better. And it has really proven to be dividends, as that's a tough game for Southeast of Saline the last 2 years early on in the season in week number 2. Smith Center and Chapman, they were tied up at 6. Also, we gave you Hanover and El Saline, 24-8 Hanover on that one at the end of 3. That one's not done yet as we continue to look at scores across the state of Kansas. Of course, Eric Peterson will have more for you as scores continue to go final. We get done a little bit early here with a running clock in the entire second half. Let's go over final numbers for you. For Minneapolis, their total yards, 93 rushing, 66 passing, 159. So we checked the Vanderbilt's turnover board. They did have one turnover. That was a fumble early on in this game, recovered by Killian Vaughn. That was it for turnovers in this contest. For Southeast of Saline, passing the football, Gannon Jacobson all in the first half, 12 of 14, 229 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Tiernan Patachi came in, went 2 of 3 for 29 yards. He also had a touchdown run of 46 yards. 4 different receivers for Southeast of Saline caught touchdowns. 6 different receivers caught passes for this squad, as Southeast of Saline racks up 175 yards passing, 175 yards rushing, 258 yards passing, 433 yards of total offense. 355 of that was in the first half. As Gannon Jacobson tonight put his precision passes out on display all in the first half. 5 touchdowns on 12 of 14 throwing the football. That stat brought to you by Everhart Precision Ag. So a successful night out for Southeast of Saline. We will now turn the corner. We'll look ahead to next week. The home opener and the season opener, not the season opener, but the home opener. Boy, it's going to feel like a season opener on the campus of Southeast of Saline next week as the 1-0 Clay Center Tigers come into campus. We'll start it all at 5:30 next week with the K-Preps Kansas preview show. A look at the entire state for 30 minutes. Then Tyler Henry and I will have the more zeroed-in Saline County area type of preview show as Kansas Wesleyan's area preview gets underway for a half hour from 6 to 6:30, and then Trojan pregame will start with Countdown to Kickoff, brought to you by L&L Advisors at 6:30. For Nick Garst at Studio Central, producing and engineering, Tyler Smith by my side here in Minneapolis. My name's Devin Haney. I want to thank you for joining us for Southeast of Saline. Trojan football as they put on a Vernon Jewelers gem of a game tonight, 60-21, the final score. We'll talk to you next Friday night from home as the Trojans take on the Tigers here on KINA.